believe, on both platforms. Perfect. Hold on. Just so I'm clear. Just so I'm straight. There we go. All right. Let's see who arrives where first. And everybody. Come here. Wanna come say hi? You lost your ball. Okay. Okay. All right, come back. Come back. Want to say hi at least? You're gonna chew your ball. Is that what you're gonna do? You're gonna chew your ball. Oh, you guys can't see him. He's just over there chewing his ball. That's all he cares about right now. Mom, same difference. You don't want to say hi? No? He's gonna be rude. I guess that's his way of saying hi. He's wagging his tail. That counts. What's up? Can we see me? Can we hear me? Are we good? Those of you on YouTube, let me know. See me, hear me, all that good stuff. Those of you on TikTok, see me, hear me, all that good stuff. Let me know. Let me know. If there's any issues at all with my signal, with my communication, let me know. Let's see. KD Studios, what's going on, man? Yeah, I'm on both. What's going on, NATO? Can you hear and see me on YouTube? That's good. That's good. What about TikTok? T-Dog, what's up? Sammy, first, as usual. What's up, Barf? How you doing? I've been good, Sammy. I've been good. Let's see. Okay. Did you learn to swim? No. No, I did not. I actually canceled that trip to the pool that I was supposed to have. I ended up having something else, happen. So I had to change plans there a little bit. But I still had fun. So just not water-related fun. But yeah, still had fun. Didn't learn to swim yet, though. I have been doing some study up on like why it is hard for some people to learn how to swim. And it turns out the only reason that it's really hard for people to learn how to swim in older age is because people that know how to swim suck at teaching people who don't know how to swim. That's the honest to God truth. This is not me escaping responsibility, right? I should have learned how to swim by now. But, and this is important, this is a very important but, a lot of the mechanics that involve swimming is counterintuitive. I've come to learn it's kind of like learning how to fight, right? It's a lot of counterintuitive movement. The things that would make sense to you as a non-swimmer don't actually apply when it comes to swimming. The problem is those who know how to swim don't know how to teach that counterintuitive correctly. Like I just recently learned, right, from doing my own research, that you can't actually climb out of the water. That's not something that happens. You can't paddle your way upwards. Now, if you're a swimmer, you know that. If you're a non-swimmer, you're probably shocked just like me, like, what? So then how you get the fuck up out of there, right? Exactly. The idea is to achieve buoyancy. You almost want to stay flat to the surface, like parallel to the surface. That's how you stay up there. Not by trying to like vertically go up there like that. Right? Like, but people that don't, the people that swim already, for whatever reason, expect you to already know this shit. It's like, bro, I'm starting out from scratch. Teach me the baby steps. The fuck? I don't know this shit. I don't know. Teach me, damn it. What's going on? How's the celibacy going? It's almost over. Thank God. So, yeah, a lot of stuff being recorded in the background so you guys can see when I'm done. This is interesting, the whole dual life. Yeah, you guys can see me everywhere, chilling, good, yeah. No one taught you, they just push you in the water. I figured. And then your body kind of figures it out on its own because you're super young and you still have that ability to learn like that. That's cool. But I never had that happen to me. That was never my story. What's going on, Oscar? How you doing, man? I learned before I turned 2 digits. I was scared until I got pushed into the deep end and didn't drown. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Why didn't you drown? You see, that they don't even teach you that part. Why didn't you drown? What keeps you afloat? What is the mechanics of staying afloat? Because I feel like on a low level, on the simplest level, what makes you a good swimmer or gives you the ability to swim to begin with is your ability to stay afloat. If you can't stay afloat, you can't swim, right? And I think the average person that knows how to swim doesn't get that yet. Like so they teach you how to swim instead of how to float. I realize that non-swimmers just don't get it. Exactly. You see, we don't get it, and of course we don't. We're starting out. We don't know. We don't know. We're just starting out. Oh, Kofi's in the building. What's going on, man? What's up? Jace, what's your opinion on Nigerian politics? I think Nigeria is trying to run an African-centered country on a European style of government. It's not going to work. That is ultimately the problem with most African countries is we're trying to do what the colonizers taught us to do. It's not going to fucking work. Nigeria should not have a 4-year term presidency. That's not. We need something a little longer term. We don't. In fact, we probably don't even need democracy. Our population is what 40% literacy. We're not even educated enough to make good decisions as a population, as the greater majority of the population. So a democracy under a group of people, the majority of people that don't even know how to spell democracy, that's a dumb thing to do. It's very stupid. You don't leave decision making in the hands of people that don't know how to make good decisions. Granted, you can make that same argument for more advanced countries like America, right? Education and comprehension tend to be two entirely different things, unfortunately. But, dude, we're starting at baby steps. We're trying to keep up with countries that have established themselves for hundreds of years, and Nigeria is literally about the same age as my mom, right? How old is Nigeria? 60 what? It's almost 70, right? Like, it's a young country. It's a fucking teenager of countries. Barely even a teenager, like a preteen of countries. You know what I mean? So trying to run that country that is still at its baby step phases with like a system or a construct that really is reserved for more advanced countries, that's just not gonna work. We don't need a president. We need a dictator. Straight up. We need someone that'll be there for a good minute, that can actually uproot all the problems from scratch, that can completely change the mindset and thinking of how we choose to see our country and operate our country and stuff like that, and then move forward doing that, as opposed to like trying to fit into a mold or trying to copy other people. That's just not, that's not gonna work. I dare you to say Yash. Of course I can say Yash. What's wrong with saying Yash? What's going on, Kay? How you doing, man? What's let's see. By the grace of God, my whole main family will be migrated in the next couple of years. Type shit. We're black. We all can't swim. That's funny. That is like just about the most stereotypical thing about me, though. Is the fact that I can't swim. That is true. How you doing, Jason? It's been long since I seen your life. Type shit. I'm here now, though. Mommy water will not find you. Exactly. Then I go, not go find me. You know what I'm saying? For a guy who never talked to a woman before, how should I build up the confidence? Honestly, if you've never spoken to a woman before, the reason you don't have any confidence at all is because you've never spoken to a woman before. So the best way to build up the confidence is just to go do the thing. I wouldn't put a lot of pressure on you to try to, go for an outcome that you haven't been able to achieve yet. Like, don't go for a number. Don't go for, anything crazy like that. Just go and learn how to have a conversation with a woman for at least a minute, and then 2 minutes, and then 3 minutes. Like, it's not hard to do to go up to a woman and just be like, hey, what's going on? Want to tell you you're cute. Have a good day. Nothing wrong with that. No one's going to kill you. You're not going to die. And then just build that muscle. Do that over and over and over and over again until you become genuinely comfortable enough to have longer conversation and more, outcome-driven conversation and stuff like that. You feel me? Jason, is there a full back-end guide? I have some chicks that I want to add to the long-term roster. Yes, there is. It's called Pillar Principles. It is on my private community. You can go get Pillar Principles right now on my private community. You can either, work your way up to get it in the group, the group scheme, so to speak, or you can just gain access to it. All that, again, still in my private community. Just go join my private community. You'll see it there. And it covers pretty much the major principles of how to run a relationship in the back end. The things you have to keep in mind, how you have to conduct yourself, the things you have to do, the mindsets you should have, shit like that. So yeah, that I made the back end course already. It's all there. Type shit. Jason, I have male cousins in Nigeria, and they say it's hard dating there. It's not hard dating there. Y'all have already seen my receipts from back in Nigeria. Everyone says it's hard dating where they are, but it's not that it's hard dating where they are. They're implementing the wrong systems. They're using the wrong. They probably have the wrong mindset to begin with, but they're also implementing the wrong strategies. They're going about dating the wrong way. Dating in Nigeria is no different than dating in America, save the cultural differences here and there. But for the most part, it's the same concept. Demonstrate value, build comfort, seduce. It's the same thing over and over and over again. If people, buddy, why would you just threw his ball at me? I'm not playing fetch with you in the house, bro. I guess I still did anyway. Want to say hi now? Come here. Come say hi. You want to say hi? Come here. You're not going to say hi? This guy, right? Anyway. Hey, don't bite me. Bite the ball, goddammit. Was that an accident? It better have been. Yeah, that's what I thought. I be bullying him sometimes. Anyway, yeah, dating in Nigeria is not hard, dude. You just gotta know how to actually run game. That's really what it comes down to. Run game, especially for Nigerian women. Nigerian women are starved of like a deeper level of emotional connection, right? That's the biggest, most important way you can compete in like the Nigerian scene, because our culture doesn't leave room for deep emotional introspectivity. Now, granted, Nigerian women don't want a weak little bitch, right? Obviously, that our culture is definitely built on. Our women want strong men. With that said, if you can be a strong man and still have the ability to see things from a woman's point of view and communicate that you can see things from their point of view, then you automatically become one of one. Automatically, you become a guy that they genuinely can't, get rid of, forget about. Like, they'll just keep coming around, not even because you buy them anything or you even dick them down well or anything like that. They just like the way they feel around you. They like the fact that they're talking to someone that understands them on a much deeper level that, frankly, most Nigerian men are just not willing to go. Right? Most Nigerian men like to keep shit like very surface level. So if you know how to tap into a woman's soul, you'll be fine. It's very easy to do too. Let's see. I go back here, I'll go back here. Jason, is there a full I read that one? Type shit, I'm gonna lock in and be posting to work up there. Type shit, good. There must be some gut-wrenching, awkward conversations. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You have to have that initial stage of sucking. Everyone has to suck at first. That's how the shit works. All right, it's called a game. Every game has a tutorial mode in the beginning for a reason. All right, because you're gonna suck. It's okay. But the thing is, I never lack confidence. I just can't seem to get them interested because you're trying. The idea isn't to get the woman interested. The idea is to demonstrate value. Like it's not your job to make a woman interested in you, right? The most you should be doing, the extent of the work you should be putting in, is just adding value into the situation that you have with her. Is adding value into the conversation. Giving her high quality emotions, it's a giving exercise, not a taking exercise, right? So you're failing at taking because you haven't done the first law of receiving, which is giving. You cannot receive until you give. You cannot give until you receive. It's a cyclical, universal law. So you're trying to force one hand without doing the other, and that's why it just feels like it's not going to work out because it's not. All right, so go into each conversation thinking to yourself, how can I add to this conversation? How can I make her feel good, feel well? Oh, buddy, don't put your ball on me, dude. No, Diddy. How can I increase the quality of emotion she's feeling right now? Right, and then when you think about it from that point of view, you begin to see different avenues you can add value to her, whether it's through your humor, whether it's through making her feel seen, whether it's through creating space for her to, just be a girl around you. You'd be surprised how few opportunities women have to do that and just feel comfortable enough to let their inner child out and shit like that. Once you have all that down, you're fine. Um, what do older women need? I notice that they cope a lot and seek understanding, but I'm trying to pull MILFs. MILFs just want to feel young again. That's their biggest concern, honestly. All the facelifts they do and the Botox and all that stuff, they just want to feel young again. That is the ultimate. That is the nirvana they all seek. So if you give them your young again experience, they're never gonna forget you. You're gonna be the guy that they keep coming back to over and over again. They just want to feel young again. And yeah, your compliments, the way you talk to her, all that stuff, it helps. But it really comes down to the energy you're treating her with. The biggest mistake I've seen guys make is they try to get MILFs with like a respectful, nice guy game. Like if a respectful, nice guy game doesn't work in general, even with younger women. But especially with older women, oh dude, you're definitely shooting yourself in the foot. Because if you put yourself in that frame of, I'm the guy that's gonna treat you like a woman, they hate you because all you're doing is reminding them that they're old, right? Your job is to treat her like a little kid. You almost want to take the playfulness up by 20,000 when you're dealing with older women. You gotta be playful. And even the way you date them should reflect it. Don't take older women to dinner dates. That's what they expect. Don't do that. Take them to the fucking, arcade, bowling. Hell, I usually say this is a good second date, but fuck it, take them to the movies. Make them feel like a fucking child again. Take them roller skating. Take them ice skating. Take them fucking, to the what's the name of those places that have I guess they're called arcades too, but the gaming places, the retro vintage gaming places. Oh yeah, make them feel fucking young again. Don't greet them when you see them. Don't honestly take the respect completely out of it. They don't need respect. They already get enough in their entire existence, especially if they're like super professional, high earning women. They already get the respect. They already have a bunch of men in their office telling them like, how was your night last night? I went over the report you sent me. They already have that world that they have to contend with. Your job is to make them feel like a child again. Smack them on the ass, juggle their titties, shadow box in front of their face and annoy them. Annoy these bitches. You want to treat them like your bratty little sister that you just can't stop bugging the fuck out of. Does that make sense? Like just fucking give them wet willies and kick them on the ass. Really make them feel like they're back in high school. That's the experience they're starving for, right? That's what you do. That's how you get them. And honestly, it's not something you work your way into. The sooner the better. Like you almost want to start out like your opener should be something concerning that. It should be around there. Like the opener itself is a big one for the MILFs too, because if you go up to them with that like, hi, I just saw you and I thought, no. You almost want to be like, what are those? What are those? Like just being like, what are those? And pointing at her fucking whatever the fuck she's wearing. That's the greatest opener you can use on MILFs. Honestly. That's probably the greatest one. The greatest. Is there any other better one than that? Honestly, no. Just what are those? What the fuck you got on? Just start roasting them. Skibbity toilet, raise that's why. Okay, maybe don't use brain rot. But still, roast them. Like that's an experience they don't run into often. Does that make sense? So be playful. Be playful. Have fun with them. And let that little kid come out, and the next thing you know, they're like making out with you by fucking in the park or something. I don't know. Some playful shit. Let's see. Oh yeah, I gotta come back to TikTok. I realize game is just playful rage baiting. That's how I've been defining it to my friends. It's simply rage baiting. I guess honestly, if you want to think about it like that, if that's what I guess that would be what a neg is for sure. I wouldn't call that all of game. That's definitely an aspect of it. That's a part of it. That's one part of it. But I wouldn't say that's all of game. But for sure, like the first minute or 2.5 of it, it's rage baiting. I mean, you don't want to make her angry. That's why I don't want to use the word rage baiting. But it's definitely like you're poking the bear a little bit. You're trying to make fun of her. You're trying to and do it in a playful way, in a way that's acceptable, in a way where she can easily get over what you're saying. Okay. My approach anxiety was gone when in primary school my boy snitched me to my crush. That's funny. your boy like that if he's doing that. It's crazy how in the U.S. approaching is seen as crazy, but here in SA, you either approach or you starve. Approaching is the norm. It's same in Nigeria, honestly. Nigeria is very creative when it comes to approaching because we have different ways of going about it because of like different cultural stigmas around it. Not stigmas, but like you know just the way we look at the concept of getting women. A lot of Nigerian men like to use bait because again that's a cultural thing. Like the Igbo guys like to use money as bait a lot. It's not the best way to go about it between you and me, but at least Nigerians have some kind of like method to it. If you're saying an essay, they have a system to it or they have a certain way to go about doing it on a cultural level. That's fucking dope. That's ideal. And you're very right about that too. It's either you approach or you starve. Like how else are you gonna get women? I find it so funny when people get like scared or ashamed of the idea of approaching a woman because it's like what else what other options you have. Someone asked me the other day, not the other day, but like a while ago, but he was like, should I approach this girl at my office? I don't know how to feel about that. I've heard other dating coaches say, don't eat where you shit and all those other weird analogies. And I'm like, listen, dude, I know the job you do. He works a very, very demanding job, and his career demands like damn near all of his time. And I'm like, dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. As long as you're in that line of work in that career, yeah, the only chance you have to meet women you find attractive is the job. That's it. Like, you might have an option from time to time if you want to go do your own shopping because this is how busy he is. He has to pay someone to go do his shopping, his grocery shopping for him. Right? That's how busy this motherfucker is. And I'm like, maybe then you can walk around the store a little bit and go talk to women like that. But honestly, with the way your life is set up right now, dude, you better be the guy that fucks all the girls at your office. Are you kidding me? You don't have a choice. How else are you gonna run into women? How else are you gonna meet them? This is your only option. And I asked him this question, and I think asking him this question like opened his eyes and opened his mind to realize that I really don't have a choice. I asked him, okay, listen, because I know your career, I know how demanding it is on your time, especially. I bet you anything, if we were to look through all your colleagues that are married, especially not just your actual colleagues, the people on your level, your bosses, the people that you have to answer to, that are much busier than you and hold more responsibility than you, look at their wives if they're married. How did they meet their wives? And then we went through all of them, one by one that he knows of. And yeah, all those guys met their girls working in that same industry. No duh. No fucking shit. Right? Like that's how it works. That's real life. Right? So he was like, oh, okay, you're right. That completely just took away the fear. Perfect. Go start talking to women in the office. Right? Don't limit yourself because of what other people might say. Let's see. Mistake born, not gone. What were we talking about? I don't know. Let's see. Do you think you should stay with a woman who loves you but you do not? Of course not. Because if you don't love her, there's a reason for it. You know what I mean? Like, why are you staying with a woman that you genuinely don't like? You know what I mean? That's a bad idea on your part. Hold on. Did I read that one? Oh, I see. I'm in high school. How do I get girls to invite me to their house? That's so cute. You don't. You want to know why girls invite guys to their house? Because those guys don't want to go. That's kind of the beauty of how. One thing I love about high school is that it teaches you the game if you're paying attention in a plain form, in a plain manner. The moment you started thinking to yourself, how do I get these girls to invite me to their house? That's when you guarantee that you'll never be invited. Because the guys who get invited don't want to go. That's why they're getting invited. That's why they need to get invited. Right? So, ironically, and this is going to sound counterintuitive, the way you get invited is to stop wanting to get the invite. Start like low-key avoiding them a little bit. Avoiding them. That's how you do it. Okay? After snitching, he made moves on two of my crushes, kissed one. That's so funny. Oh, I see. I understand now, Jace. Is that why women open up to gay men emotionally and mentally? Oh, for sure, man. Gay men have that advantage because gay men. It's kind of funny. Women are scared of men in general, right? On an evolutionary level, it's because we have penises. Like, I'm not even kidding when I say that. That's not me trying to be funny. A woman's greatest fear of greatest consequence when it comes to men is the fact that we have these things that we can use to quote unquote violate them, right? So a woman's fear is penis. They'll never admit this. I'm not even sure most women are even consciously aware of that. But I know this is the case, and you'll now know this is the case because if you observe how they behave around gay men, it's very different than how they behave around straight men. Why? Because a gay man is essentially a penisless man, or at least a man whose penis won't be used against her. So there's a level of comfort that a woman automatically has with any man, or honestly any creature that can't fuck her, right? So yeah, that's why gay men get a pass, low key. Uh, the interview was way simpler than I expected, but summarized the most parts nicely. Tight shit, because they understand them on a deeper level. Not even that. It's not that gay men understand women on a deeper level. Is that gay men have better access to women because they're not seen as much of a threat. Does that make sense? Oh, I gotta scroll this down. Okay, cool. All adults spend their time sacrificing instead of protecting their inner child. Yeah, unfortunately. Got a babe from another country coming to visit me for 3 days. What should I do with her? Everything and anything. You want to pack those 3 days with like so much activity that she genuinely feels like she spent 3 years with you. The more activity, the better. That's what I've come to find, especially for those of you like in long distance relationships and stuff. Activity, 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 activity. 3 days you want to, and you don't want to like do one thing per day. You want to do minimum 2 things per day. You want to do, this is how I would do it if I were you. I would have a place to go to for like a breakfast or something. I would have a place to go to that's like a major high activity thing, like an arcade or a go-karting place or archery or even like aiming guns and stuff like that. If you have, you're in the UK, you don't have stuff like that, but something high activity, something, and then at the end of that, some kind of dinner spot or bar, and then I would just rotate that same system every single day. So breakfast spot, again, doesn't have to be expensive. Coffee shop, Waffle House, Waffle Place, IHOP, some shit like that. Then go do some major, fun, very high activity thing in the afternoon. Swimming, kayaking, arcade room, bowling, golf, some shit like that. And then in the evening, something chill, a bar, maybe if you have access to a club or a movie you can see at night, blah blah, and then end it with good sex, and then just repeat that every single fucking day, all right, right? And then rotate it. Obviously, don't do the same thing twice. So first day, coffee, then bowling, then movie. Second day, a breakfast spot with waffles and pancakes, then laser tag, then a bar. Go drinking a little bit, or if you're not into alcohol, fucking walk around the city with the brightest lights and the coolest joints and shit like that. And third day, show her a cool grocery store you like to go shop at. In the afternoon, you go to the arcade joints or bowling or whatever, and then in the evening, you have a nice dinner. Boom. That's what you do for 3 days. Oh, again, end every day with sex. Very important. You want to have that high note. I'm not saying it has to happen. You really don't have to have it happen like every single time. But if you can manage, make sure it does. Make sure it does. It's very important that you do, because you always want to engulf and envelop all of that experience into like a romantic sexual connotation for her, so that by the time she leaves you, she remembers not just all the things that you did together, all the experiences that led up to her major emotional spikes, but then the fucking amazing sex she had after that, the excitement, the fun, the orgasms, all that good stuff. About to start every day with it too. It's pretty much guaranteed. There we go. Excellent. There we go. Start every day with it is awesome as well. Honestly, it kind of keeps her in a cool, chill, calm mood throughout the rest of the day. A tense woman is never a good thing. You want to keep your bitches as relaxed as possible. You feel me? Yeah. The more relaxed, the better. Um, let's see. Succeeded. My main approach has been spontaneity. Type shit. Uh, when was the last time you were petty for pettiness sake? Honestly, it's been a while. I've been on. I really have to be petty for petty sake soon. I'm not trying to sound like, oh, I'm better than that. That's beneath me. I feel like in my philosophy of living, you have to like oscillate between the two different kinds of vibrations every so often. It's better if you stay in the high vibe, high frequency level most of the time, but from time to time, indulge. Eat a little too much from time to time. Fuck a little too much from time to time. Just as a way to rest, as a way to come back down and remind yourself of your humanity. It has been a while I fucked with someone for no reason. It has been a while. I've really suppressed that like bully side of me a lot. Just to like get certain downloads, receive certain signals from the other side, get lessons and teachings and stuff. But yeah, it's about time I did some fuck shit for no reason, honestly. Let's see. Hold on. Let me actually go back here. So if I act disinterested in the girl I'm talking to, but still talk to her, will she like me more? Surely she'll like the guy that she's getting more interest from. No, that's not how women work. You're young, so you don't know this yet, but I'll tell you that women are very counterintuitive in their interests and how they give interest. Women don't like the guy that likes them. They like the guy that they have to work to like them back. And that's the key though. It's not just that not liking her will make her like you back. It's not the not liking her part. It's the giving her room, giving her a chance to work to earn your validation back. That's what matters here, right? You got to give them a chance to work to get like, interest back from you. The problem with most guys, and especially most guys your age, is that they think that showing her that they like her is what's gonna make her like her back. Women don't. They're not the same as men. As a man, you see a girl like you, even if you might have not thought she was the most attractive, you at least have a little bit more interest in her back. It's like, oh, you know what? At least she knows a good thing when she sees it. I can appreciate that. For women, it's not the same. For girls, it's not the same. Right? They don't want a guy that wants them off rip because that doesn't give them a chance to earn that man's validation. And if they can't earn your validation, then they don't see you as good or good enough. Does that make sense? What's going on, Umar? How you doing, man? Let's see. I'm gonna need you to never have opinions again. I'm sorry about that, Phantom. I'm sorry you didn't appreciate that, but that's fine. Yo, South Africa in the chat. South Africa, what's going on, SC? I've been trying to work on my South African accent, to be honest, but someone said that I sound like the white people in South Africa. Is that true? Is that true, eh? I sound like the white people in South Africa. That is so insulting, bro. But, I'll work on it. Let's see. I feel as if I'm baiting. I feel as if baiting shouldn't work for Nigerian men, but we have the pride and ego to overcorrect. Yes. Yoruba men will lie. Everyone has their system. Igbo men use money. Yoruba men are demons. They lie. Hausa men lean more on like religion and, the RNG as they call it. But, let's see. Well, I think my headphones paired. What happened to my headphones? Never mind. Good now. Was my sound fucked up? Yeah, my headphones are connected. So I don't know. Let me know if my sound is ever fucked up though. Let me know. Most American women aren't expecting it type shit. Hey, what's going on, Dimitri? My man. What's going on, baby? Howie Zern. As a fellow Nigerian, I should have seen it coming type shit. Jordan over LeBron. Some people think that's a controversial statement. I just think that's the truth, honestly. I think of context. I think of a lot of different things, and I think Jordan is just a better athlete, is the better person. I think LeBron on paper is the better role model, I guess, but yeah, Jordan is just a dog, man. Jordan is just a dog. How do you deal with women who can't vibe and always want to be smart out or condescending? You shame them for it. You have to learn how to playfully shame women. It's one of my most fun things to do, especially when you're dealing with women that exist in a different culture than yours, or like for instance, you go to a different place where women there are conditioned to act differently. You can very playfully, very slightly nudge them in the right direction of how they should behave around you by shaming the way they're acting, or by sneakily rewarding the way you want them to behave by putting down the way that they are conditioned to behave around men. And does that make sense? Like for instance, a good example is like if you go to LA. A lot of LA is like superficiality, right? A lot of LA is like, social status and who you know and name dropping and all that corny shit, right? If you're talking to an LA girl, your job is to not play that game. And this will work in LA, this will work in California, Miami, San Diego, all those major cities, New York. They'll try to meet you at that I'm the high socialite girl too type of level. Your job is to make her feel stupid for trying to do that. And you do that by simply going like this, you know what? After she says something real to you, something you can hold on to, you're like, you know what? I was talking to you for a bit, and I genuinely thought to myself, you're just another one of these LA or New York or in Miami, whatever you are. I thought you would just be another one of these LA bitches that just, name drops and talks about all the cool shit she's done because she thinks it makes her cool. But you're actually like a decent human being, aren't you? You're actually like a down to earth, grounded human being. I like that. I like people that have more to them than just superficiality. And just like that, for the rest of that conversation, now she knows that she's not going to be able to impress you by showing off all the cool shit or name dropping or any of that weird, climbing up the social ladder behavior that they have in those type of places. Does that make sense? You just have to let them know in like a playful way, like, that's not my vibe. That's not what I'm looking for. So if you're dealing with a woman that's like a smart ass and always has to be condescending, again, just be like, you know what? At some point, she's gonna, because human beings are like this, right? At some point, she's gonna say something that genuinely makes her look like a decent human being, and then you can be like, you know what? This entire time, I thought all you were was just this chatterbox that wanted to look smart with every single thing you said. I just thought you were this girl that was always gonna use like, your education or whatever to shove it down everyone's throat. But no, there's like a decent human being in there, isn't there? That's cool. I like that. You should show me more of this side of you. That other version of you, I wasn't really feeling like that. And I promise you, that whole smart ass act, it melts away, just like that. You know, feels like they try to misunderstand you or take you out of context. If they're that smart, then they're not going to do that. Smart people don't do that. I use the taking over the world next time they ask why we're doing what we're doing, because we're infectious. What I didn't think I'd see Naija with, I've seen. What are we talking about? Tell what a born and bred Nigerian. Tell me what a born and bred Nigerian is doing in Russia. I saw a video about that recently. Someone was like surprised, like, "Oh, Nigerians in Russia." Nigerians have been in Russia for a minute. I had an uncle in Russia when I was like 6. I'm 30 now. You know what I mean? Like, he's the one that taught me that at some point, every Nigerian man, if they travel around enough, is going to date some Russian girl named Katya. And I ended up doing just that. Every single one of us, at some point, if you travel around enough, you're going to date some blonde, tall, stoic face, very beautiful Russian chick named Katya. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. Right? I don't know what it is about them girls and us, but we're like this. And the relationship always ends bad, by the way, because you have two alpha personalities clashing. It's never gonna last long. But that's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen. Why didn't you tell us Ghanaian women have the best nyash? Because they don't. I'm gonna be honest with you, they don't. They have the biggest, but biggest doesn't mean best. All right, the best is South Africans. I'm gonna be honest. I'm sorry, it's the truth. South African women have the best nyash in terms of size to shape ratio. They have the best balance of nyash. Ghanaians just have big nyash. They just big, just nyash everywhere. But it's not always the best shaped, unfortunately. Not that there's no good shaped nyash in Ghana. There definitely is, but it's not always that way. Ghanaians don't even have the biggest. That's South Africa. That's a Ghanaian saying that, by the way. Kofi is the Ghanaian, so don't say I'm Nigerian and I'm biased. I don't listen. I prefer to give the credit to Ghana. Y'all know how we are, Nigeria and Ghana. We love y'all, but I gotta give it to South Africa. I can't come up here and lie like that. South Africa has the best nyash in Africa. Honestly, as a result, the world, because what better nyash is there outside of Africa? So yeah, it's actually no. There's Brazil. All right, Brazil is a contender, but I'm still putting SA on top. Honestly, still putting SA on top. Began a planned complete reading of the Bible this year. Currently at First Samuel. Type shit. I don't like those though. To be honest, I'm gonna be honest with you. No, I think you should do it. Continue, please. But you're gonna have to do the entire read again, and this time you're gonna have to pay a little more attention. It's not just about reading; it's about comprehending. And unfortunately, those are usually two different skills, and you don't learn one until you learn the other first, right? So you're gonna have to go read through the Bible again, and really understand that there's different layers of revelation in the Bible. Like for every scripture you read, there's 7 different ways of looking at it. Spiritually, physically, emotionally, psychologically, etc. Right? So read through the Bible, but read through it again. Right? Let me come back here. Down for a call in about a month. Surgery extended shit, but finished Self Belief 2.0. Type shit. I'm very proud of you. Please go through it again. Please go through Self Belief 2.0 again. And yeah, we'll get on a call soon. Why not? How do I make her work for my validation? You must first show her that you're the kind of guy that can strip it away from her. You do what we call becoming a source of validation, right? And the way you do that is very simple. You qualify her. You make her feel, with your words and your actions, like you're genuinely judging her value, right? There's a difference between the guy that goes, oh my God, you're so beautiful. That's the guy that's just giving his validation away for free. And the guy that actually goes, you know what? I thought you were beautiful when I was back there looking at you, but now that I'm looking at you, like I have a closer look at you from a different angle. I don't know. Now, I'm not saying you should say that in particular, right? There's way better lines to use. But you can see the difference in one guy to the other. One guy is trying to sell himself. All right, the other guy is trying to judge her as a buyer. The other guy is trying to be like, I don't know what I'm looking at here. What is this about? Who are you? Explain yourself to me. Qualify yourself. Right? So that's really what it comes down to. You make a woman chase your validation by showing her that your validation is not easy to get, by making sure that she understands that it's not easy to get in your words and your actions. You judge her value, you judge her quality. Yeah, man. Do it in a playful way, though. Okay. Sound super white. I do. Fuck. God damn it. You know what? It's not even my fault. it's definitely my fault. It definitely is. But my first South African friends were white dudes. That's the funny thing. It's ironic, but it's true. So I guess I picked it up from them. And yeah, it's probably their fault, low key. Yeah, I sound super white, bro. It sounds it's so funny because the South African white accent sounds Australian in a weird way. It sounds like not all the way Australian, but like a tinge like New Zealand-ish. It's so weird. But yeah, I picked it up from them. That's my best QB in the league this year. Best QB in the league this year. I don't know. I'll just go with the safe options and say it's either Mahomes or Lamar. It's one of those two. It's always one of those two, in my opinion. If you ask me in the last 5 years, it's just been one or the other, back and forth. There's probably been a year in there where it was Josh Allen, but for the most part, it's those two. Those are the two. Those are the big two. The big three of NFL QBs right now: Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. In my opinion. 30 with the high top giving women give. Yeah, I mean, thanks. That's kind of the point. Like when you can get women, when you have a system in place, when you're completely aligned within yourself, You can do anything with any tool. You can use a high top. They said the same thing about my dreads. They said something about my high top. It's the same thing. It's like it doesn't matter. Women don't care. Like a woman isn't gonna stop herself from mingling with a one of one guy because he has a high top or dreads or no twist in his dreads or anything like that. Like they don't care, you know. So yeah, if anything, go bald. That's my advice to you. Go bald and go get bitches. In France, girls are very unapproachable and uncommunicative. They ignore in public any advice. Um, it's a cultural thing for the most part with them, and that's cool. That's fine. But I've come to find that with those girls that are unapproachable in public, the only reason they're unapproachable in public is because you're trying to use a soft approach. You're trying to do something that makes the approach easier on them. I've come to find that with those girls that are culturally not used to approaches, you have to shock them into the approach. You have to use something a little more hard hitting. Sounds counterintuitive, but it works. And it works because, again, because they're not used to getting approached, you almost have like an unfair advantage over them, like a massive upper hand over them, because they don't know what to do when you put a real hard approach in front of them. They just don't know what to do. Have you ever approached a girl that you thought was pretty but clearly has never been approached by a guy before? It's a conversation you run, honestly. You do whatever the fuck you want at that point. And because she doesn't understand the code of conduct, how to, treat herself or, conduct herself in front of a guy when she's getting approached, she just kind of defers the leadership of the conversation to you, and yeah, you just kind of lead it however you want to. So it's fun that way. It's really fun, you know. To be fair though, be warned: the shit tests you will receive will come much later. They will not come in that conversation, but they will appear like in a text messages or your first date, whatever the case. But yeah, it's the approach is usually very easy as long as you just have that aggressive, charismatic leadership thing about you. Let's see. Cure reading men are from Mars. Cure? I don't know what cure means, but I do know the book. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Low key, 30% of the content is cope. I understand why most relationship books are written to be palatable to women. Yes, that's very true. That's why I don't recommend that book as often as you would think a dating coach should. You know, but that's honest. That's the honest to God truth. It's really not. Eh, it's really not as cool as you might think it is. Oh, what's this? Hold on. TikTok just sent me a message. Oh, okay, that's fair. That's cool. I don't care about that. Let's see. Great advice. Thank you. Please use it. Don't just call it great. Please use it. Search up Obi Mikhail's wife. She's Russian. Yes. Most of these international football players have Russian wives. It's going to be a Russian chick, a German chick. You'll rarely see a Nigerian man with a Swedish chick. Very rarely. You'll see him with a Chinese chick before you see him with a Swedish chick. You'll see him with a Brazilian chick before you see him with a. You see him with a Cambodian chick before you see him with a Swedish chick. There's a very few European countries you actually fuck with. Italy, Germany, Russia, maybe Romania from time to time, but that's about it. It's mostly Germany, Russia, Italy. That's it. Let's see. Oh yeah, for sure. The book "Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus" definitely has some decent info for sure. Well, what happened? What the hell happened to Katya? Again, it's just two alpha personalities clashing. Those relationships always end the exact same way. She's going to put some kind of massive ultimatum in front of. Okay, let me explain Russian chicks in general on like a cultural level. Here's the thing with Russian chicks, right? Russian chicks on a cultural level are raised to see men as their protectors and providers, but not just in like a traditional way, but they really do have this entitlement. They go out of their way to demand that of the men they date. It's kind of why I like dating them. It's very easy to date them, especially if you're a super masculine guy. You're gonna thrive with Russian chicks. If you're not that masculine, stay away from them. They will eat you alive. But if you're a masculine guy, you'll have a very easy time dating these women because you already know your roles as a man. You already know protection and provision, and they expect it of you. And they demand it of you when you're slacking. That's another thing about dealing with a Russian chick. The running joke for me is, if you want to become like, if you want to step up as a man, you want to make the kind of money you want to make, you want to lose all the weight that you've been, struggling to get rid of, date a Russian chick, because they'll force you to get your shit together. They'll fucking force you, right? Like, they're very demanding like that, and that's a good thing, as far as getting you to get your shit together. The problem becomes when they begin to feel insecure, and this is where it gets tricky. When you actually become that guy, that fucking baller that she's always wanted to be with, it's almost like they have no purpose anymore, because they were with you on the come up, so to speak. That they're very good at hurting, if you will, but once you're actually when you don't need hurting anymore, it's like, fuck. Now I have to find a way to keep being important to this guy, and what their primary weapon of doing that is gonna be ultimatums, and that kind of defeats the point of the relationship, right? The point is to be the man, to be the leader, and so they begin to give you these ultimatums that make you bend your will to them, and that's why you ultimately have to end it, because here you can only go one or two ways when they start giving you their ultimatums. One, you bend to them, you bend your will to them, and then you become an unattractive guy to them anyway. Because you're doing what I'm telling you to. That's not what I want. I want a man that can stand on his own. The other option is B, you don't do what you tell them to do, and then because these are very prideful, high ego women, they're like, fuck it, I can't be in a relationship with a guy that doesn't take me seriously, and then they leave. And then you just have to watch them leave. That's the only option you have. You wave Katya goodbye. Because fuck you look like becoming the bitch that she doesn't want you to be anyway. That's the beauty of women. Women in general do this, but Russian women are just a lot more straight to the point, hard hitting when it comes to it, because on a cultural level, that's how they're raised, right? So yeah, that's usually how it'll end. It'll end with her giving you an ultimatum and you going, "Sorry, babe, I can't continue to live an apology to you for the rest of my life," and then you just gotta watch Katya go, "Goodbye." That's how it ends every single time. Let's see. I'd rather give titles to Biggest Nyash to Ghana over SA. Me too, and that's true, but it's biggest doesn't mean best, Why is the acronym so sus? What acronym? Which one? Scientists say that the sun will get extremely warmer. Soon most girls will want to date us everywhere. Huh? What does the sun getting warmer have to do with girls wanting to date more? That's so funny. I haven't tried a South African. I say Nash, but I mean box. Best box I had was from Ghana. Oh, really? I haven't tried Nigerian. Tried Kenyan. Okay. Best box from Ghana. Hey, fair enough. Some of the best box I've received is from Ghana too. Shout out to Kwame. You feel me? I'm just thinking of some random future middle or high schoolers saved from the provider fate, right? By being around Jace's offspring. Type shit, man. Type shit. Because it's an unnecessary lesson to learn in 2025. Like if you're a man dating right now, and you still have to learn that whole actually I have to be nice to women. Like, you can skip that phase, bro. A lot of men get stuck in that for decades and don't understand why they're not successful in dating. Just skip that fucking phase, bro. It's not necessary. New girl says she's nervous around me. I consider it a good thing, but should I try to erase her nerves? No. It's a great thing. It's a fucking great thing. She should be nervous around you. The fuck? Best anime I can watch right now. Going to online today. Been working like crazy. Type shit. Go Loser Ranger is my shit right now for unwinding. Go Loser Ranger is funny and impressive, and it's low-key like watching. It's the same premise as The Boys, kind of, but for like, instead of heroes, it's Power Rangers essentially. The Power Rangers, not to spoil or anything, but the Power Rangers are the bad guys. Right, so yeah, like, and they have to keep up this public image, like they're the good guys, and the main character is one of the henchmen of the bosses that fight the Power Rangers. Like, you know how the Power Rangers be in them episodes, and they're fighting all those guys off before they like meet the final boss that eventually turns big, and they use the Megazord against. Yeah, one of those guys that they fight off and they use their cool swords to slash through. Yeah, that's the main hero. That's the main, not hero, honestly, he's an anti-hero, but the main character of the show. So Go Loser Ranger, yeah, watch that. That's the one right now. And it's the perfect for unwinding. You don't want to watch anything serious to unwind. You don't want to watch an Attack on Titan, a Death Note, Clash of Movie. No. You want something chill and funny. Watch Konosuba. Watch Go Loser Ranger. Watch what's the name of that one? I forget the name of that one. Fuck, I forget. I'm seeing it in my head. I always forget the name of the longer isekai anime. It's the one where the guy gets thrown to another dimension, and overly cautious hero, something like that. Like he has to over prepare for every single fight he's about to get into, and he has a handler that's the actual main character. It's a whole thing. Yeah, that one's cool too. It's new. She's been shy because she wants me to like her. Should I give her reassurance? Here and there, but not too much, okay? My dad just dropped some family lore out of the blue. Great grandpa had 4 wives that he knows of. Dude, talk about great grandpa. Look into grandpa. All our grandpas had more than one wife. Some were just better at hiding it than others. My grandpa, on both my sides of the family, my mom and dad had multiple wives. So yeah. And mind you, one of them was like a so-called civilized man. You know, he went to Cambridge for university. Very astute gentleman. That's my grandpa on my mom's side. Right? Super rich, super well-to-do, very sophisticated. Bro, I had 3 families, back to back to back. My mom is from, I think, his first family. But then, you know, there were others that came after that. Which site you use? Oh, I don't use a site. I use streaming. I stream on, I got Crunchyroll and I got Hulu. I got Crunchyroll and Hulu. That's what I've been doing. Actually, you know the funny thing? Speaking of, let me show you guys. I'm literally, how do I turn the camera on this bitch? I'm gonna fuck the camera anyway. I'm just turning around. I'm literally watching Naruto in the background. Not because I want to watch it, honestly. I just be having anime there, like, just in the background for no reason. You know, this is how I chill. I just relaxing and just watch shit with no. My girl thinks it's weird, like watching shit with no sound. But yeah, that's what I be doing. You know. Let's see. How would you practically go about shocking her into being responsive and approaching? I would say something very, very hard hitting, or I would simply just. There we go. I would. Oh no. I made it worse. Give me a second, guys. I have to clean out this. Oh, there we go. I have to clean out that. I would go with something very hard hitting, or I would just say something that shocks her in the moment, like point at her shoes and just be like, "What are those?" Or make her feel like she's making some kind of social error. The girls that are very careful to not be approached or don't want to get approached in public, they're very careful like that, mostly because they don't want other people to see them as like getting approached. They're scared to make a social error, right, so to speak. So make them feel like they're making a social error, and they'll instantly give you all their attention. That's how it works. Like, oh, miss, you dropped something. Oh, what's that on your face? Is that something on your face? No, I'm just messing with you. There's nothing on your face. I just want to talk to you. What's your name? Boom, you're in there. Can I ask, why did she give up the first date but never again? Had lunch 2 times after that, but she's been distant. Because you suck in bed. That's the reason. You stink! You suck! You're trash. Look, even he's pointing at you. He's like, you're trash. You're trash. And that's the, buddy, come here. Come tell him he's trash with me. Come here. Come tell him he's trash. Come here. You don't want to tell him he's trash? Look, he says you're so trash, he doesn't even want to bother with you. You stink. She's keeping you around for the attention. All right, I've shamed you enough. Let me get back to being serious. She's keeping you around for the attention, which is why she'll have lunch with you, let you pay for her food, blah blah. But she don't fuck with you like that. You know, she doesn't see you as someone worth respecting. You know. Found cautious hero, can't find go hero loser. No. Go loser ranger. Go. It's a play on the actual Mighty Morphin Power Rangers theme song. Go Power Rangers, but it's not power. It's loser. Because again, the story revolves around the loser, the Power Rangers henchmen, not the actual Power Rangers, right? So yeah, go loser ranger. Let's see. I need to run it back with her. LOL. Yes, I'm greedy. I know this other Ghanaian taking good care of me now. That's good. That's good. But it's your need to try to get her back in the sheets that's fucking up your chances. If you actually want her back, it's not hard to do. You just have to not want it as much. You have to start treating it like it's something you can take or leave. Does that make sense? You're treating it like it's something that's important to you. That's why it's not working out for you. Give me a second, guys. There we go. That's why it's not working out for you, because you're treating it like it's something that's like important to you. Let's see. Will Hypnotica Erotica be a bonus with the interview? It depends on the tier you get. If you get I think it's in the highest tier, right? The CFO. If you get CFO, yes, it's going to be there, not the regular tier. Do you feel tired of pretending to be a good guy, referring to Homelander? We've had a very few perfect heroes, men who truly believed in peace till the end. I was going to make a video about this recently, but I feared it's one of those videos that not everyone is going to, I mean, it's not designed for everyone to understand anyway, but at the same time, will all the distractions of all the other people that don't understand the video, misunderstanding it, will that be worth putting the video out is my question. But I'll probably still put it out anyway because I don't give a fuck. With that said, I was going to make a video about this very thing. It's like the idea of walking around as a strong man that knows he has the power to shake things up and constantly putting a clamp on yourself almost to not be a fucking evil villain. Does that make sense? It's very difficult. It's very difficult. And, you know, I once had a woman tell me, like, Jace, what do you want? A cookie? You want me to give you a cookie for being a good person? And I'm like, oh shit, my bad. YouTube was out of whack. My bad, guys. A woman was like, do you want a cookie? You want me to give you a cookie for being a good person? And I was like, yeah, oatmeal and raisins, please, if you will. I like a glass of milk with it too. Oat milk. Your boy's lactose intolerant. That being said, like, what I mean to say by that is, it's hard to be good. It's hard to be good when you know being bad is the easier route. And so being a powerful person and choosing good is like a massive temptation on a daily basis, man. It really is. Massive temptation. And it's easier to live that life where you just walk around not giving a fuck. Way easier. I'm telling you as someone that's done that. I've literally gotten fired from a job because of that, like that thing, that mindset of just like, I don't give a fuck, I can do whatever the fuck I want. And I did. And I got away with it multiple times, you know. I didn't even see losing that job as a consequence, honestly. But it's like, yeah, it's a struggle. It's a struggle to have power and not abuse it. And don't ever let anyone make you feel like that's not a valid feeling. Like that's not a valid take. Being good is not always intrinsic. Like there's only 3 kinds of people in the world. People who are weak and pathetic, and so they can't be good anyway because they don't have the power to be evil. People who are genuinely evil because they have the power to be. And then there's the people like us, or hopefully people like us, people that have the power to be evil, but make the hard choice of being good on a daily basis. And it is a fucking hard choice. Like, who's stopping me if I decide to go outside and just throw a punch and knock somebody out? Who's really stopping me? And again, I'm saying this to someone that actually did that for years. They got away with it. I have video evidence of this. I got fired from a job for this very kind of behavior. I was just going around being violent because I could. Because who's going to stop me? Because who's going to realistically stop me? Well, we could call the police. Exactly. The only thing you can resort to is getting other people to fight your battles for you. But I can destroy you myself. Who's gonna stop me? And learning how to like not be that person anymore. I'm not gonna lie, man. That took a lot out of me, man. That was quite the transformation on my part, and I ain't gonna lie, I miss it. Dude, I understand Mike Tyson. When Mike Tyson, I don't know if you guys have ever seen that one clip of Mike Tyson where he's on his podcast and he's talking about how he used to be a ferocious killer, a ferocious warrior, and after retiring from boxing, he's had to like tame himself and like actually be a good person. And it's like he used to be feared and he misses that feeling of being feared. I get that, man. I understand that. But you gotta be a good person. You gotta not for yourself, not for others, but for like that feeling of God within you. Because you know that the God being that you're connected to wouldn't want you to go down that path and lose self-control like that, you know? But the point still remains. You can't even begin to be a good person if you don't have the ability to be evil and the power to withstand not being evil. Okay? Let's see. Do you have to live by the game or practice it? Both. Whatever you practice, you live by. That's why it's called practice. You know? That's why it's called practice. We all feared Mike. Exactly. We did. We did. But the Mike of now is not the same Mike of before. Not to say he's not dangerous anymore. He definitely still is. Right? But, you know, you kind of miss that version of yourself a little bit because that version of you, like, took no prisoners. You know? Let's see. Oh my God. I gotta catch up on YouTube. I've ignored YouTube for a while. Give me a second, guys. How do you deal with your girlfriend finding out you accidentally texted her sister? How do you accidentally text someone's sister? You lying bastard. You didn't do that by accident. You wanted to text the sister. You wanted to text the sister. You liar. How do you deal with that? Tell her the truth, you lying bastard. Have you ever tried to speak with a black accent or whatever these Twitter people be talking about? Oh yeah, I mean, I switch into a black accent depending on who I'm talking to from time to time, right? I live in the Midwest, so that's like normal here. And apparently I can get away with it because I'm black, right? But I do find it funny though. I see the videos on the internet of white people talking in a black accent and getting hate for it. And I'm like, I'm doing the exact same thing they're doing. The difference is I look like a black person, so I can get away with it. You know, it's so interesting. Bro, I'm in the gym, my G, but good to see you, broski. Good to see you, man. What are you talking about, bro? Just curious. Life, a lot of stuff. I don't want the girl back, but I want her to regret it out of ego. How can I do this? She broke up with me. My fault for sure, but still. Yeah, let go of that ego, my guy. That's useless. That all that does is drag you down. That's not gonna help you. That's not gonna help her. I know you think you'll feel better if one day she calls your phone and she's like, "Oh my God, I regret leaving you. I miss you dearly." Like, no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. In real life, no. So let go of that. Let go of the need for that. What you need to be focusing on is becoming the version of the man that you should have been to make her feel good, to make her feel safe with you in a relationship. That's what you should be doing. That's what you should be working on. Okay? Let's see. So what do you think of the best women, Latinas, Russians, Chinese, or Japanese? I don't think there's any best women, honestly. There's really none. The best women, in my opinion, are the ones that are beautiful with high self-esteem. It's never a cultural thing. It's a confidence thing. You know, those are the best women to deal with. Let's see. Mom and dad had multiple wives. Your mom and dad had multiple wives? Your dad had multiple wives? Is that what you mean? Good for him. Another honorable shout out is Martin Luther King. Shout out Martin Luther King. What's your thoughts on the arranged marriage with a good woman? That doesn't exist. The moment you need someone else to arrange a relationship for you, you're already pathetic. It's already too late. It doesn't matter if the woman is good or not. That's not what you should be focused on. You should be focused on the fact that for the rest of your life with that woman, she would know that you were never bold enough to create a relationship on your own. That's what you should be worried about. Is that once you enter an arranged marriage or arranged relationship type of situation, you're automatically gonna have so much harder time holding the frame in a real way, right? At that point, she's just looking for an opportunity to cheat on you, like for real. Let's see. Hamzat versus DDP, who you got? Honestly, I'm gonna lean towards DDP. I think Hamzat should be able to use his. You see, that's the thing. I've seen Hamzat wrestle at 185 once, and that's against Kamaru Usman, which is insane. Like, it was a short notice fight for Kamaru, 9 days notice, and he couldn't finish Kamaru Usman. It was a 3-round fight. He couldn't finish it. He won that one on decisions, and it was split decisions. Funny enough, so I don't think he's gonna have the same level of wrestling pedigree and dominance in the middleweights as he did in the welterweight division, which makes sense. You're dealing with guys who are significantly bigger. Like the motherfuckers at welterweight are cutting down from like 180, 200 to 170. The motherfuckers in 185 are cutting down from like 220. Right? These are big motherfuckers that are squeezing themselves into 185. Have you seen like these guys in person? Paulo Costa, Marvin Vittori, Isola Adesanya. Those guys are huge, right? And Khamzat is not going to be able to ragdoll them the way he was doing those tiny little 170ers. He's just not going to be able to get away with it. So I don't think his wrestling against DDP is going to be nearly as strong as people will think it's going to be. Plus, he's coming off a very long break. I don't think he has as much of a chance of winning that as people think he does. Plus, DDP has plot armor. Not to sound too casual, but that's the truth. Watching videos on the Book of Enoch, very interesting. Shout out to the Book of Enoch. That's a very important apocryphal read. How you doing, Isha? What's going on? Those 200 angels forgot the assignment. Yeah. Earth's law is actually crazy. No anime can beat us if we got the whole lore. Yeah. The Bible is only peanuts of it. It has the highlights, but not everything. Yes. The most important highlights, but not everything. Yeah. Let's see. Thoughts on having side chicks? Necessary. Super necessary. Gotta have side chicks. Competition anxiety is the lifeblood of your relationships. The day your woman starts thinking that you can't replace her, you're done. Huh? I just got a text. Let me show you. The day your woman genuinely believes that you can't replace her, you don't have the ability to replace her, she's going to start looking for a way to replace you. And it's not their fault. It's not because they're intrinsically evil. It's not because they're bad people. No, it's biology at its finest. Biology at its finest. They align themselves with men and consolidate on certain men that increase your chances of survival. One of the biggest indicators that you are a good survivor is your ability to attract other women. It's like evolutionarily linked. Good survivor, pre-selection. Pre-selection, other women want you. That's how it works, right? So if you can't show that ability anymore, they're looking for a way to churn you out. That's how it works. Okay, but Jace, it was an off night. I didn't like her dirty talk. Got performance anxiety. Who cares? Why are you giving me your excuses for your bad performance? She doesn't care. I don't. I definitely don't. She doesn't, more importantly. She doesn't. It doesn't matter what the reason for the bad performance was. It was a bad fucking performance. End of story. End of story. And by the way, getting one back is not how... Okay, let me give you guys some very solid advice. If you have sex with a woman and it was a bad performance and you're realizing that she's slipping away because of it, you don't correct that by trying to have sex with her again. That's going to push her away further. Because the reason she has sex with you to begin with is because the whole point of game is to offer value. is to present yourself as higher value. And as a result of being higher value, sex with you is a validation to her. Having bad sex in that way, and not just having bad sex, but usually having bad sex and affirming within yourself and your actions like this weird apologetic nature of knowing that you did something wrong, that tells her that she gained no value from getting naked with you, which is the last thing a woman wants to experience. Bad sex isn't even about your technique or how well you do or how bad you do. It's showing her through your actions and words that having sex with you added no value to her. Right? So that's how that happens. The way you correct that isn't to just then be like, let's have sex again, because you've already shown her that product. She's not impressed. If you go to a restaurant and they sell you on, oh, this is the best food in the area, wherever the fuck you live, and then you eat it and it's ass, that same restaurant giving you a coupon to come try the food again for free is not going to be motivation for you to want to go try it again, because you know it's ass, free or not. You don't care. You've already tried it. It's ass, right? So what would that business have to do, right, to make you want to revisit the establishment? They'd probably have to go about changing their entire look, brand, and feel in your eyes. Same thing with what you have to do with the girl. You can't present, oh, here's another opportunity to have sex with me again. You have to present, listen, I'm not even the same guy you met before. That guy you knew, yeah, entirely different person than who you're looking at right now. And then that'll create more curiosity in her and be like, oh shit, this might be a different person. What's going on here? Who is this guy? Who's that guy I met before? Why is he different from the guy now? Entire change up, entire switch up. Then she'll be curious to have sex with this new version of you. That's how it happens. Okay? Let's see. What's the gate of spiritual enlightenment and alignment? Alignment and enlightenment. Gates? There's several gates. Business and game is so similar. I find it weird when businessmen struggle with women. It is weird, but that's because they haven't seen the correlation. But it's the same thing. Right? Making a sale is the same as closing a date. Same difference. It's the same exact system. In fact, I use the exact same system. Essentially, to be completely honest. So yeah. Let's see. When I started researching the Nephilim, I was like, this couldn't have happened on Earth, but it made me realize something. Humanity's issues that we constantly gain access to things we weren't ready for. Thank you. That is the ultimate lesson to learn in the Bible. Is stop rushing shit, bro. We're trying to gain things we don't deserve yet, and that's why when we receive those things, it destroys us. You don't put a loaded gun in the hands of a child, do you? Of course not. Because the child is too incompetent to know how to handle one. Are there children that know how to handle guns? Yes. In those cases, sure. Let them have them. But for the majority of children and just people, honestly, you're too incompetent to know how to handle something that consequential and that powerful. Right? That's why you have to go through all these tests and examinations and different kinds of licensing processes to be able to do certain things. It's important. You don't just go to someone that calls themselves a doctor. You want to make sure they went through fucking 8+ years of schooling to be able to tell you and diagnose properly what's wrong with you and administer the correct treatment. Right? So yeah, that's very important stuff you have to learn. And the Bible teaches that, like, it's literally the first lesson you learn in the Bible. The Garden of Eden, Eve eating the fruit, feeding it to Adam. Stop. Because the tree of the knowledge of good and evil was in the garden for a reason. So it wasn't like God was not going to feed him that fruit at some point. But it just wasn't time. He said, don't eat it yet. Don't eat it. Eat everything else. You have all this shit. Just don't eat that. Not yet. But, impatience, greed, and obviously outside influence from the serpent, but same difference. Let's see. When I felt like she was trying to baby me or talk down. It's because you didn't grab her by the throat. Humanity's issue. Alright, right now. Should I tell her address the elephant? Say I know what you need. I'm gonna do this and that to her next time. No. You don't address it. You just start acting like it. You start smacking her on the ass every time you see her. Start grabbing her by the scruff of her neck and kissing her. That's how you do it. You don't. Again, you have to present a different person. You're trying to talk your way into it. No, game is action, right? Game is fucking action. Demonstration over explanation. That's been the number one fundamental rule of the game. You're trying to talk about something that you should just be fucking doing. How can you convince her you're gonna blow her back out the way she wants when you're not acting like it outside the bedroom? You have to have blow my back out behavior. Right? There's blow my back out behavioral cues. Hey yo, pause on that. Big pause. There's blow her back out behavioral cues. Blow her back out behavioral cues. Big pause on that. You feel me? If I hear that I've never done it before, will it lower her? If she hears, is that what you mean? If she hears it, you've never done it before, will it lower her expectations, possibly making her more lenient? Yes, yes. Be honest in that way, and it will definitely, allow her to let her guard down and stuff like that. With that said, though, that'll work better with older women than younger women. Younger women almost always exclusively look for men with more experience. The only women that actually let you get away with having less experience or not a lot of experience is older women. So keep that in mind. How can I overcome the religious beliefs of not practicing game and it lowers your spiritual ranking? It's easy. Actually study your spiritual, text. Like it's very easy to break out of those things when you stop when you stop stopping at what your pastor tells you or your imam tells you and you actually study the text. Especially for Christians especially. Please just read the Bible. Please just read the Bible. Let's see. How do you hold your spiritual ranking? Okay, first of all, let's talk about what spiritual ranking is. All spiritual ranking is levels of consciousness, levels of awareness. That is what it means to improve spiritually. Is to improve in your perception of reality. Is to expand upon that. Right? That is what holds it. What holds it, what that is how you promote, right? What holds it in place is really not allowing your perception to dim. Not slipping back into the spiritual, physical, and mental habits that allow you to begin to see the world in a more myopic view. Or from a more myopic view. Right? Keep the glasses clear, keep the perception wide, you should be fine. Do not do things to cloud your own judgment or fuck with your own decision making or just don't stop the good habits that keep your quote unquote third eye open. Does that make sense? Once you get into the Bible, you realize that you shouldn't take women seriously, but also take them very seriously. That doesn't track for most people. But take them seriously enough to where you understand how much of an effect they can have on your life if you let them. But also don't take them seriously because you know that unless you allow them, they will have an effect on your life. Abraham out here having a child with Sarah, I believe, seems like surrogacy being a thing. Yes, might be. Very seriously. Oh, I see. Because if they could get a whole Solomon, who am I? That's so funny. So what do you think are... I wrote that one. Any tips for having unshakable belief? The best tip I can give you is go and join my private community right now. You go and join my private community right now. I'm offering a 7-day free trial on it. And you can literally watch Self-Belief 2.0 in its entirety. You gain instant access to that. So that is the best tip I can give you. Success is a social game, so I never understand when men say leave women chase paper. Exactly. It's weird when people say that shit. If anything, you get more paper when you get more women. At least in my case, right? Especially for my case. More women, more paper. Right? So, but even if you weren't like me, if you weren't like my kind of personal brand, dude, more women in your life, more instant respect, more clients, more jobs, more opportunities, more responsibilities, more promotions. You know what I mean? So yeah. How to overcome the curse or magic that is put on you. No one can do that but yourself. All people can do is suggest for your mind to begin to think in certain ways. If you believe you have a curse on you, then you do. If you believe you don't have a curse on you, then you don't. The only way to overcome it is to realize, again, come to a different level of awareness of how much control you have over your own reality and your perception of it. If you think that you have a curse on you and it's affecting you, then you do. But the moment you stop thinking like that, then you don't. Perception is reality. Okay? No one can affect your reality nearly as much as you give them credit for. Let's see. How can you put your name on the map of this app? What kind of knowledge I have required to rule my corrupted country, Somalia? Oh, you're Somalia. Shout out to Somalia. How can you put your name on the map of this app like you want to get TikTok famous? You want the bullshit advice or you want the real advice? What do you want when it comes to like getting good on social media and stuff? What do you want? The bullshit advice or the real advice? Sorry, off topic. How do you get over women? Oh no, that is like right there. That is right there in the topic. You're straight, dude. Getting over women is very simple. The reason most men don't get over women easily is because they don't do the first most important thing, which is accept the end of the relationship, truly accept it, that it's over, and then mourn the end of that relationship. Mourn it. Give yourself a chance to actually mourn the death of that relationship. The reason most men don't get over women, like years pass and you're still thinking about the same woman, is because you haven't accepted that that relationship is over. And you haven't mourned the death of that relationship. You haven't given it its proper burial and funeral and farewell and goodbye. I promise you, once you do that, once you go through that, and once you create like your own special ritual, whatever ritual you want to go through, right? That'll signify the physical separation from you in that relationship, you'll be fine. You'll be much more open to new opportunities. Right? That's how you do it. But you have to mourn the relationship though. Relationships are like people. Relationships are entities on their own. So when they die, they require a good death and burial. You know? Some of them resurrect, but you know, that's if you choose. But ironically, the only way to resurrect any one of these relationships is it has to die first. And you have to let it die. You have to mourn the death. When Jesus rose up again, he died. He was buried. He was wrapped up. The tomb was sealed. Right? The resurrection would have never made sense if all that death, burial part didn't actually happen. Does that make sense? All right, just something to keep in mind. What kind of books for gaming and NLP? I have an entire book recommendations list. Go check that out. It's on YouTube. How can you acquire wealth in the third world? You don't acquire wealth. You generate it. Right? You generate the wealth. The third world especially, and I'm only seeing this now after years of being away from home and looking back and realizing like, yo, I would have probably even made more money quicker back at home. But the third world is full of opportunities because there's so many problems to solve. And that's all you really are required to have or be able to do to make money is solve a problem. That's pretty much it. You want to make money, solve a fucking problem. Interesting. Probably this is why many men struggle with let go. Yes. But absolutely. Solve a fucking problem. And the third world, by definition, has way more problems. Way more problems than, for instance, the first world. So it's all about figuring out what problem you want to solve and then going from there. I'm sorry, I just saw Sishui lose his eye. Donzo is that motherfucker, man. He's that guy. Anyway, he's a bad guy, but he's that guy. You just rip that shit out. Anyway, yeah. You can solve one problem and become an instant success back in the third world. You just have a few obstacles you have to get over. Yes, there's the physical ones. Infrastructure might not be available. There might be people that sit on the progress and gatekeepers and shit like that. Sure. But I would say and always say the biggest obstacle by far you have to overcome is yourself. The problem with us as third world, people from the third world, is that we have such a bad relationship with money and the concept of it, and just value in general. We have such a bad relationship, and as a result, bad habits with money and value. And if we can correct that, dude, we'd be set, right? We will take over anywhere we go. Here's the thing: you have to understand why money is exchanged. First of all, money is the exchange of value. People give you money because you help them solve problems. On a basic level, it's a little more complex than that, but on a basic level, that's what you need to know. You solve a problem for someone, they pay you. Cool. Okay, cool. The question then becomes, how do you want to go about solving the problem? That's where the brunt of your work is going to go. What method are you going to use to solve the problem that you've chosen to solve? And there's different ways depending on the industry, depending on the problem itself, blah, blah. But the work really begins when you try to figure out how you want to solve the problem, not even what problem it is you want to solve, right? And then from there, the wealth is generated, not acquired, because you don't reach out and grab wealth. It comes from within, and then people are attracted to it and add to it, and that's when the physical money appears. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Is there such a thing as a nonchalant or reserved woman that likes you? Yeah, it's definitely real. There's different reasons for that. It could be medication related, it could be personality or culture related. We're just talking about Russian women, right? Russian women are very reserved until you piss them off, right? So yeah, that's real. It's a very real thing. With that said, though, I would test it out, because just because a woman is reserved or nonchalant doesn't mean that she always likes you or always doesn't like you. You have to test her compliance. You have to test her level of interest by compliance testing. Get to see if you can get her to do things for you. If in the midst of her nonchalance, she's still willing to make sacrifices for you, she likes you. If she doesn't, then she doesn't like you. She actually doesn't fucking like you at all, right? How the sacrifice of Jesus, or what? Sacrifice of Jesus have to do with the righteousness of Christianity? Your English is terrible, Kamir, but I forgive you. What does the sacrifice of Jesus have to do with the righteousness of Christianity? That doesn't really make any sense as a question either. Put it like this: Christians believe that the sacrifice that Jesus made on the cross, this is Christians that understand the Bible anyway, they believe that the sacrifice that Jesus made on the cross is what created a reconciliation of mankind with God. And so the irony to it, and I was talking to someone about this very recently, the devil lost favor in the sight of God because he wanted to be like God, right? We're just talking about wanting something or feeling deserving of something that you don't deserve yet, right? And having that destroy you. The devil was the first person to commit that sin, right? Wanting something he wasn't ready for. Now, fast forward in the chronological storyline of things, after the devil gets cast out, God recreates the heavens and the earth, right? And what does he do? He tells his angels, the Elohim, a seat, a council that he makes decisions with. He says, let us make man in our own image. So essentially saying, let us make man like us. The same crime that he punished the devil for, he essentially encourages us to do. How interesting. How interesting, right? A lot of Christians don't even know that. That's unfortunate, but that's essentially what's going on. Our entire journey is to be like God. That is what Jesus came to show us. That is what all the prophets demonstrated. That is the point. The point is to be as close to God kind as possible. That is what it means to improve in the levels of awareness and consciousness. That is what it actually means. And, you know, we kind of get a free pass because we didn't ask for it the way the devil did. In fact, it was bestowed upon us. Let us make man in our image. That's what God said. So that's what Jesus came to do, because when the devil was able to trick Eve and Adam as a result into taking on the responsibility of the acknowledgement of good and evil, That was what the eating of the fruit, that's what it symbolizes. Knowing more than you should. Coming to a level of consciousness and awareness that you're not ready for. Right? It's like telling a 6-year-old the mechanics of sex. Don't do that. That instantly corrupts their mind. Right? Because they're not ready for it. They should remain a kid as long as they need to. And enjoy that phase of their life. They're not ready to learn these deeper, more higher level shit, right? And so the devil essentially tricked mankind into finding out about sex at 6 years old, essentially. Like, that's the best analogy I can come up with. And it corrupted us from that day onward. Jesus' sacrifice was essentially a way for us to become not just forgiven for the sin, for the crime of doing that, but to reset our minds so that we can become more reconciled with God, and so that we can begin to see sex as something that is not, again, going back to the analogy, as something that is not necessarily evil, but a part of our progression as long as we become ready for it. And so that is what righteousness is. All righteousness means is being right with God, or being right in God. Not as a, you know everything and you are always correct. No. More like you are in right standing with the laws of this universe. You are in right standing with the way that God has created you to be, your nature, which is to be like Him. That is what righteousness is, right? So, yeah, that's the best way I can explain it. I hope I did a good job. Impatience is the cardinal sin. Thank you. That's a perfect way to do it. Perfect way to say it, Lionel. Well done. Well done. What do you mean you use the same system for sale in women? What system? The same one I've been teaching you guys the entire time. Same one. Demonstrate value, build comfort, seduce. Demonstrate value, build comfort, seduce. Right? There's compliance testing in sales too. There's value demonstration in sales. There's validation and qualification in sales. If you listen to my conversation I have with girls, it's really not different than the conversations I have with prospects or clients. It's the same conversation. The difference is the words we're using. The girl ones are a lot more playful, obviously. The sales ones are not as playful. I'm still playful when I'm selling. Don't get it twisted. I'm on a fucking hour-long phone call. I'm cracking all kinds of jokes. I'm still me. But it's the same system. It's the same ladder you climb up or down. You feel me? Again, money is just the exchange of ideas. If you can get someone to buy into your ideas, then they can buy into your ideas, monetarily speaking. You see what I'm saying? So, as long as you can get someone to believe in the idea that you're trying to put forward to them, and when it comes to sales, it's usually solving a certain problem in a certain amount of time, meeting a very specific outcome, right, that they obviously want, or moving away from a certain kind of pain, then yeah, you have yourself a sale. Cha-ching. And one piece of advice I have to give someone very recently too, right? Just since we're talking about money. The same amount of effort it takes to make $1 is the same amount of effort it takes to make 20,000 or 100,000 or a fucking million. It's the same amount of effort. People think, oh, it's $1, so the sale doesn't have to be as strong, or you don't have to do this, whatever, or that, whatever. You don't have to try as hard, they'll tell themselves. And they'll go, oh, this $20,000 package, I have to sell it with everything. It's the same effort. It's the same effort. It's the same things you have to demonstrate anyway, right? So keep that in mind. We only think of money as different in amounts because of our relationship to money. The truth is, the spirit of money itself doesn't see $1 differently than a million or a billion. It's all money. We try to quantify it in our heads, but it's the same. And you'll start making more of it when you start having less of an emotional attachment to the figures. When you can feel the same way about $1 that you feel about 100,000, 100,000 will come like that. You know, so there's something to keep in mind. How do most lawyers, in your experience, do in game and law students? Honestly, it depends. Most of them, I would say, suck, and the reason they suck is because they try to treat game and talking to women like their job. They try to be combative about it, right? Honestly, funny enough, it's the same thing with sales guys. You would think if you're good at sales, you'll be good at women, and that should be the case. Because again, same system. But there's a lot of guys that are great at sales that suck at women. The reason is because they haven't learned to switch out the little tiny little terminology and elements involved in it, and they haven't learned how to make talking to women more playful. That's usually the case when it comes to switching over your professional skills into dealing with women's skills. You just increase the fucking playfulness around it in general, but then also understand that the elements differ, right? When you're talking to a prospect and you're trying to sell them on like a $5,000 package, you gotta ask questions. You gotta figure out what they're looking for, what they want, what outcome they're looking to achieve, what the most realistic time frame for them that would be, shit like that. And why are you asking those questions? So you can know how to better add value to them, how you can better, present the particular package you're trying to put in front of them, so that they know, okay, this package is exactly what I need to get all this stuff, a bag of chips, and the outcome I'm looking for. The same thing is happening in game with women. It's just going about, it's gone about in a different way. You're not just asking questions to figure out what she's looking for. Like, you can't ask a girl, so what kind of man are you looking for? That's not something you can ask. I mean, you can ask, but it's just you'll fail miserably. But you can qualify. You can qualify your prospect and be like, so what's your relationship like with your father? That in itself is a qualification question, not just to put you at a higher value, right, to demonstrate you as better and stuff, but also the answer she gives you will tell you everything you need to know about what she's looking for in dating. Because her relationship with her father, more than likely, will tell you everything that she's missing in her life currently. If she tells you her relationship with her father is great, right? Her and her father are best friends. Okay, she doesn't have a man in her life that can actually tell her no. Her father has probably spoiled her rotten. She needs a man that'll tell her no, give her boundaries. If she tells you her father is distant, or she never knew her father or anything like that, okay, she needs structure. That's what she needs. She needs guidance. She needs leadership. She never had that with her father. That's what she's looking for in dating. You see what I did there? I didn't ask her, what are you looking for in a man? Like an idiot. Like I see most sales guys do. They try to treat their girls that they're dating like prospects. You can't, it's not one-to-one like that. There's a bit of an adjustment you need to make from professional world to dating. Right? So with lawyers, honestly, it's like they try to bring that professionalism into it. Like they think they have to like argue their case to a woman. And ironically, that all that does is make them look like they're trying to qualify themselves to a woman. And women can smell that and they bounce. So that's usually the problem I see with lawyers. Let's see. Jace can detail the explanation of my questions. Oh, what are we talking about? Oh, no, I already answered your question. You're fine, man. How do you fix bad money habits? Only thing holding you back for a very good question. I'm happy you asked that. So the thing about bad money habits is first you have to identify them, right? The hardest part for me personally, I would say, was just identifying what they were. It's a lot simpler than just, oh, you overspend. Oh, you don't save enough. Oh, you're saving too much because you're scared the money will run away. It's not that simple. You got to go deeper into how do you view money? You got to ask yourself right now, like, okay, what is my actual opinion of money? If money were a woman or a friend, and I had to write 10 things down. You can do this as an exercise. Write 10 things down. Oh, I almost forgot about YouTube. My bad, guys. Hope you guys are here. Oh, damn. I almost got as many YouTubers as... Oh, well, actually, no. TikTok is 3 times the size. But still, hey, YouTube. You have to ask yourself... There we go. Sorry about that, guys. You have to ask yourself, okay, if money were a friend or a girl I'm dating, what opinion would I have of her? What would I say about money? How would I feel around and about money? What is the first thing that pops into my mind whenever I think about having money? Like, for instance, I gave you an extra $100,000 right now. Like right now, just boom, in your bank account, 6 figures. Congratulations. What is the thing you would feel? What is that first emotion? That'll tell you more about your relationship with money than anything else. For some of you, it's going to be relief. If that's what you feel, relief when you first get that account credit, that means you feel tension around money right now. That's important because that means your spending habits, your saving habits, even the way you go about making money, have more to do with your relationship with tension than anything else. And that's not a good place to be at when you're, especially when you want to make money. A tense place is the last place you wanna be at when debt for relief. Fair enough. A tense place is the last place you want to be when it comes to making money, because money can smell tension. Money doesn't like tension. And this is why I refer to money in like a third person, like a personality, because money is a personality. There's a few things money doesn't like that you don't know. Money doesn't like tension. Money likes relaxation. Money doesn't like noise. Money likes quiet. Money does not like disorganization. Money likes for things to make sense. Money is like water, right? What if you want water to flow somewhere? What's the best way for the water? Like you want to channel water from a river to a different body of water. What's the best way to do that? You make it as easy as possible for the water to go from that one point to the other by digging a tunnel, digging a hole, a tunnel, creating a pipeline, something, using gravity to your advantage. If you try to make the water go upwards without creating some kind of upward pressure for it, it will not go upwards. It will not. If you create a blockade in your entire pipeline where you're trying to transfer the water will get stuck. It will not flow. That's what disorganization looks like to money. I'm telling you, that one thing alone, it definitely worked out for me, right? Like, disorganization is blocking you. That's why you're broke. You're disorganized. You're broke because you're disorganized, right? Doesn't like noise, likes quiet. Why does money like quiet? Because that's where the ideas to make money come from. You want the best ideas? Stay quiet. Stay still. Do not be distracted. Get off TikTok. Get off TV. Get off the anime. And don't be busy either. You think, I'm doing all these things to make money. That's distracting you from getting better ideas for better things you need to do to make money. Stop being so fucking busy all the time. Get fucking quiet. Why do you think the best places you get your ideas are the shower? Or when you're driving back home in the car? Because that's the only place signal has a chance to catch you, because that's when you're quiet. See, no music, no sound, nothing's taking up your attention until you're getting signal from the other side, because that's where ideas come from. Your brain doesn't come up with the ideas, it receives them. Remember that part. You're plugged into a higher consciousness than you are, a more intelligent being than you are, right? So the ideas don't come from you, they come from there. And you have to be quiet enough to let it sink in, to let it show up, right? Okay, money doesn't like noise. Money doesn't like disorganization. Very important things to understand, okay? But that's a tangent. I digress. Let's go back to your relationship with money. Your relationship with money will tell you everything you need to know about what the things you need to change about you have to be so that you can begin to attract more money into your life. If you feel relief every time you have big money, that means you feel tension whenever you don't have it. Money doesn't like tension. If you feel stress, and there's a few of you like that genuinely feel that, like the idea of having an extra 100,000 makes you panic a little bit because you're like, fuck, how do I use it? I hope I don't fuck this up. Oh no, I have to get a fucking someone else or something else to help me manage the money. If that's not that that's a bad idea, but if that's what you're thinking first, that means your problem with money is that you're scared of it. That's why it's running away. Duh. You're scared. And by the way, everything I'm saying about money can be applied to women as well. One-to-one correlation there. Every single thing. So if you're finding yourself being like, more money, more responsibility, you're scared of it. Address that. Now, you can go a little further. You can go a step further and figure out why you're feeling all these things about it. Dig into your childhood, the habits you formed. The way you think about money will usually come from the habits you've had since you were a kid, right? That's why the people who grew up rich, for instance, rich parents, abundant households, they don't have these bad habits with money usually because they never had an opportunity to form them, right? For them, they've always had a good relationship with money and a good way of viewing money, so they don't have to go through this. But if you're like me, I grew up in Nigeria. I had some really bad bouts of poverty in my life. Yeah, you have to definitely train yourself to have new habits with money, new habits, and it starts with identifying them, like even the tiny things. Go out right now and go shopping, and really observe how you feel when you're looking at prices, when you're looking at certain things you want to buy, when you're looking at when you're at the cashier's register trying to pay for something. Observe what's going on in there right then. What's going on? Like, yes, it might be happening because of the amount you have in your bank account. Like, how are you even approaching that? Are you grabbing a bunch of shit that you're hoping you can afford when you get to the cash register? Or are you the kind of person to calculate, okay, I only have this much, I'm gonna spend this much, and then you start taking stuff and you realize, oh, I might be taking too much. Now I gotta remove stuff from my cart. Like, what's your relationship like with even your shopping? Pay attention to that shit. Pay fucking attention. And then when you do shop, what do you pick? Stuff based off of quantity or quality? Are you just trying to spend the least amount of money? Or are you trying to get the most value? Like, what's your relationship like there? Right? Really get into that. That'll let you know what the habits are. And then once you have a good idea of what those bad habits are, all you have to do from that point is get rid of the habit. How you get rid of a habit? You replace it with another one. You get rid of bad habits by replacing them with good ones. Okay? All right. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Game is action type shit. Do you like What Did I Miss? The Drake song? I haven't really listened to it like that. What's surprising to me is that he sampled The Weeknd in it. I thought they were beefing. That's so interesting to me. Does being Christian mean I can't have premarital sex? Well, it depends on who you ask, honestly. In the Bible, it happened a lot, though. Just so you know. It's kind of funny how that happens and how that works because the Bible doesn't really value marriage, or specifically, God in the Bible doesn't value marriage as much as man does. Marriage, even from reading the Bible, you kind of figure out that marriage is mostly like a social construct, even in the Bible. I don't know why your pastors are telling you that it's ordained by God. It's not. I'm not saying like God can't be in your marriage and God can't like bless your marriage, blah blah. He can, but it wasn't invented by God, and it definitely wasn't ordained by God. It was ordained by society. It was ordained by people, and it's useful. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's definitely useful. It has its uses, but understand that there's no massive spiritual laws being broken or anything like that when don't prioritize marriage over everything, right? What the Bible does and what God does really harp in on is the union. Not the marriage, not the wedding, the union. God is very concerned about the union because as far as God is concerned, when a man is joined with a woman, they become one entity. They do. Now, with that said, though, in the Bible, there's a lot of men that were joined with multiple women, which would suggest that even in those situations, God sees that man and all his women as still one entity, right? So, something to keep in mind there. I hate when people have scarcity with cash, complain about $20 or $100. These people are the worst. Yeah, they're the worst. But I also have sympathy for them because I remember being there, And the irony is, this is the weird thing about life. You can't get out of there until you stop being so worried about the little $20 you got. That's the irony to it. The way you get out of the stage where you're no longer a $20-naire, is what I call it, right? Millionaire, 100,000-naire, 1,000-naire, 100-naire, $20-naire. So, the way you get out of that habit of seeing money as so scarce that you can't even give it up for anything, is you stop seeing money as the point. Like the reason that person is down there and they're suffering and they're in hell, that is what hell is, by the way, is to be so restricted in your life and your choices that you think spending $20 is a big deal, or $100 is oh my god, $100 what, right? The reason it's still a big deal to you is precisely because you think it's a big deal. When you start looking at it from the point of view of the value you're receiving in exchange for the money, then the money becomes inconsequential. You start making more money when money becomes inconsequential, because it is. It is. Money is not the main point, it's the byproduct. It's like sex. When you stop seeing sex as a big deal, you'll have more of it. Because sex isn't the point, it's the byproduct. You see, that's how it works. So, yeah, I it's frustrating to deal with those people. I mean, that's why I do my best to not, as much as as possible. When it comes to the brokies, I have a lot of free shit. Just don't bother me. There's enough free shit. Go get that. You know, that's how I deal with them. I don't work with them one on one. There's something spiritual about it, and it flows. Money replenishes itself always. Yes, that's another. The law of replenishment is a law that requires you to have faith in it, right? The problem with the brokey is they don't have enough faith in general, much less faith in universal laws. So they don't know that. It's, again, same with girls. Same with girls. You wonder why people get stuck in relationships that they hate so much? Years and years and years and years and years, and just being with this girl that they don't like, that they don't find attractive anymore? Simple. Because they don't think they can get another one. The irony is you can't have the space to receive another bad bitch if you don't let go of the ugly one you have right now. You gotta let go. Gotta learn to release. Learn to release. How to overcome. I already read that one. I don't understand the self-sabotaging the relationship after making you that guy. The bad guy by Russian women, is that what you mean? Does that mean all Russian marriages are giving into ultimatums? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you could think about it like that. I mean, I kind of painted a broad brush with all Russian women, but in reality, there's some of them in there that are like pretty chill and won't resort to, ultimatums and stuff. They do that because that's what survival looks like for them. They're very strict about it because that's what they grew up in. You gotta meet people where they are and give them grace. Oh wait, I gotta go back to YouTube. Let me see what's going on YouTube. Oh shit, I missed a lot. I don't want the girl back. Alright, that one. How can you increase your spiritual ranking with practicing game? Game is a spiritual exercise because it teaches you the most important lessons in spirituality. Right? Letting go, having faith, and exchanging value. Can you get more into it about the ego thing and also not holding it over the woman about previous relationships? I'm a young rookie, ain't been with many women, if I'm being honest. Type shit. Ego is a good thing. Ego is a bad thing. Ego is neutral. What makes ego good or bad is the way you decide to use it. Right? And you can either use ego to add value or to extract value. That's good or bad, right? With that said, the reason that you feel hurt right now when it comes to like your ex and you want to get her back, so to speak, is because you take the ending of the relationship or her wanting to end the relationship as a massive blow to your ego. Why do you take it as a blow to your ego? Because you've attached your identity to the outcome of the relationship. You genuinely told yourself you were a boyfriend. And so here she comes forcefully stripping that title away from you, and it hurts, doesn't it? By the way, thanks for the likes on TikTok. Damn, 11K likes on TikTok. Thank you. Y'all on YouTube are slacking. Give me more likes. How does liking on YouTube work, by the way? Can you just spam likes on YouTube like on TikTok, or is that like one person per like? Is that how that works? I don't know. Because if that's the case, we're doing fucking amazing. Like, it's literally a 1-to-1 ratio of viewers and likes, if that's the case. But let me know. But yeah, that's how it works. It's like You've attached your identity to the outcome of the relationship, which is why it hurt when the relationship ended. Because it didn't just feel like a relationship ended, it felt like an identity died. It felt like you couldn't keep up to whatever image you had of yourself in your head. And now you hate her for stripping that image away from you, from not allowing you to keep being consistent in that image you have of yourself. Right? You see why that hurts? You see how that works? Okay. If that's the case, all you have to then realize is stop attaching your identity to all these different things. Attaching your identity to outcomes is the biggest mistake most men make, and which is why their ego gets them in trouble. All right? Especially when it comes to women. You shouldn't attach your identity to any woman. In fact, you can't get and keep a woman correctly if you don't have an identity of your own outside of her. So keep that in mind, okay? Let's see. How to deal with Nigerian parents that nitpick every little thing and get surprised when you're frustrated. I mean, that's Nigerian parents. You're frustrated because you're taking their nitpicking so seriously. The thing about Nigerian parents in general is that that's how they show their love. They show their love by showing unnecessary amounts of concern, right? So you getting frustrated by it makes no sense. Have you ever tried and really tried this? This is something I've tried and worked. The next time, like your mom or your dad is like yelling at you, they're saying this, they're saying that, they're nitpicking at you. Just walk up to them, hug them, kiss them, and be like, "Thank you for caring about me. I love you." No, do that. Do that, and just see what happens. Do that. Meet them where they are. That's just their way of showing you love. Don't be frustrated by it. It's a waste of your own time. And it's a misunderstanding of their fucking care. Because that's what it is. They just care about you. It's okay. Like, can it be annoying? Yes. Can it hinder you? Yes. But be grateful that you have people in your life that are that concerned about you. That's a blessing. Okay? All right. How to deal with a two-girl set. I find it hard to isolate since the other girl will stay alone. Oh, no. It's easy. Just make friends with her first. Make friends with her, make her feel good, shower her with compliments, and then be like, by the way, just give us 2 minutes. I want to go talk to your friend. I don't know who she is yet. You mind if I do that? We'll be right back. And like clockwork, boom, she will literally just let you go talk off by herself. She'll be on her phone or whatever. It'll be fine. Trust me. Okay? Let's see. I'm 6'2", good looking and in shape, but have been on muck mode for years. Can make an argument it was an excuse to avoid women in dating. I know. That's why I keep telling y'all that whole chase the grind and not women. It's bullshit advice. You can do both, right? I promise you. My first 10K a month, I had an orgy. Like, chill out. You'll be fine. You can do both. I promise. It's okay. Let's see. Usually wear on Arab clothes most of the time, so no one comes up to me. Will it be fine if my game is lacking a bit due to this, looks hype, blah blah, or would it be essential to master game? And should I let women come to me or approach them? Always approach them first of all. And honestly, trust me, you think, oh, if I look better or if I present myself better, women will approach me. That won't happen either. That might happen from time to time if you're as good looking, as handsome as you say you are. But trust me, you don't even want those women to approach you. Secondly, and this is very important, you're lacking right now. The way you are, you're a sitting duck for some women out there that'll literally just use and abuse you because she can, because you don't know how to relate yourself to women correctly. So I highly advise you, start learning to relate yourself to women as much as possible, as quickly as possible. You don't want to be the guy that's clueless about women. All right, Mr. Monk Mode is always clueless about women, and that's a sitting duck for women. That's a guy that just doesn't know when women are coming, or how they come, or what a woman's genjutsu looks like. I'm saying genjutsu because of Naruto, right? But yeah, you got to plug that hole as soon as possible. Will it be fine if I already read that one? How do you elevate your level of consciousness? You got to increase your perception. You got to start seeing things from multiple angles. Well, first of all, you got to give your brain a chance to actually begin to perceive things from multiple angles. Let's start with good physical habits, right? Exercise, sweating every day, or at least 4 times a week. Your diet, do not eat a lot. Your sleep, get as much rest as possible, right? Try to stay away from processed foods, sugars, stuff like that. Uh, you want to give your brain as much of a chance to receive signal as possible, right? Practice meditation and quiet time. Practice looking at things from a different angle than everyone else, even if it's a tiny thing, right? That'll begin to stretch out your perception muscles, and then you'll begin to see opportunities and things in ways people don't. And that's how you increase your consciousness and awareness. Because in doing that and having better eyes, so to speak, and opening your third eye, as they say, you can begin to know and come to know esoteric truths that other people can't. That's where these things come from. But you gotta go find it though. If you seek, you shall find, as they say. But you gotta put on your headlights, so to speak. Is it okay to create a framework for talking to women in an attractive way? That's what game is. Game is the framework for talking to women in an attractive way. So worrying less equals more progress. Makes sense. Literally. The moment you stop worrying, the progress has already been made. Literally. Right? The calm of your mind is more important than anything else, because you can be doing the right thing, but if your mind is not calm while you're doing it, you're doing the wrong thing. Like, you can be executing on the correct strategy, but if you're not centered, if you're not aligned, you're doing a lot of busy work. There's a lot of movement. There's no progress. You feel me? Let's see. I'm 18, want to be married in 2 years. What's your advice in practicing game? How can you put your name on the map with this app? Legit advice. Oh, Kamari, you're just repeating all the questions that you already asked me here on here. You're 18, want to be married in 2 years is a dumb idea. First of all, let's get that out the way. You're 18. You don't even know who you are yet. So why would you want to be joined with your incomplete identity to someone else? Do you understand what you're asking for? Do you understand what you're saying? Marriage ain't no fucking joke. That's why people say, oh, Jason, you're against marriage. No, I actually have a very high regard and respect for the institution. And that's my frustration with it, is that most people don't. So they treat it like it's this, like you're getting a new roommate. No. Do you understand what you're asking for? You want to be, like, you're going to have a brand new identity. You're going to be completely one with someone else. It's like the fucking Avatar state. You speak, they speak at the same time. That's what you're asking for. You think you got 2 years to prepare for that? You don't. It's gonna take you more than 2 years to even find out who you are. Much less who you're gonna be joining with. You don't know how to vet that correctly yet. You don't have no practice with that yet. Much less merging those two things. Like, are you kidding me? No. No, do not be fucking married in 2 years. Go figure out who you are first. Go figure out you. Right? And not just for your sake, for her sake too. Why the fuck would she want to be aligned with someone that isn't aligned within themselves? Fuck that. It's a bad idea. No. You're going to need more time than 2 years. All right, if you're just chasing checkpoints in life, you're going to have a miserable one at the end. I promise you. You don't want that. All right? You don't want that. You don't want a miserable life like that. Would it be fine to lead with my looks? I haven't been good looking my whole life. When will I psychologically become attractive? Is now I have become physically attractive. The fact that you're asking that question tells me that you're not psychologically attractive yet. And of course you're not. You're not competent in front of women yet. You just go practice talking to women first. And observe yourself while you do. Right? Start from there. Like, let's not complicate things. You want to make sure that you're actually putting yourself in front of women. Because all my advice is useless if you're not practicing it. So go talk to women. Okay? Is it smart to practice with older chicks so that you can learn what you're doing before you get with girls that are your own age and well with game with older women translates over the young ones? The older woman versus young woman conversation strikes again. Right. So yeah, there's a lot of things that older women can teach you. And I always say one of the fastest ways to improve in your game as a young man is to date exclusively older women when you're young. Right? Because one, you're going to have an easier time dating them because they're more willing to date you than your own women your age. Right? Women your age are looking for men that are older. Right? So that whole fantasy of when I'm ready to date women my age, get that out of your head. That's not going to happen. Honestly, I don't care what age you are. Dating a woman your age is almost a bad idea. Anyway, you're not really supposed to date women your age. You're supposed to date women younger than you or older than you. Right? Women, and that's not your fault. That's biology. Women want men with more experience. So more than likely, she's looking for someone older than her. to build something long term with, or someone younger than her, so that she can have that reliving of the young, youthful life again. Right. So do with that information what you must. Uh, but yeah, I definitely recommend it. Older women are a shortcut when it comes to learning game. Absolutely. Let's see. I don't know how much I'm allowed to reveal about your course here, but how would you go about raising your standards completely? I started with a completely clean room all the time and dressed nicely. Good. Those are two very good areas. Now do it in other areas. What about the standard and quality of the food you eat? What about the quality and standard of the money you make? What about the quality and standard of the women and the quality of women you talk to? Right? Start doing that, all those different things. Like just attack different areas. Like small things, big things, small things, big things. Like the clothes you wear is nice, the room, all that good, very good. But start looking at every single area of your life as something that needs improvement. Does that make sense? Hope it does. How do I develop the protector within me and minimize my provider urges? How do I display that to women in my life and what should be the mindset? Protector within you will come out when you start taking more risks. The difference between the protector and the provider type is risk taking ability. You don't feel like a protector type right now because you're not taking enough risks with yourself. Take risks and the protector will show. Okay? All right. Back to TikTok. Put this down here. There we go. Let's see. Interesting. Probably I already read that one. Let's see. What's your thoughts on 4 wives and no gaming after the fourth girl? That's a bad idea. Even if you have 4 wives, you should also have like at least a few side bitches. Because those girls, well, first of all, even numbers are a bad idea. When you have multiple women in your life, even numbers are a bad idea because they can create factions and gang up on you. Bad idea. Odd numbers or nothing at all, right? With that said, yeah, not gaming after 4 is a bad idea because then now you're stuck in the ecosystem that those 4 women create, which long term means you're fucked. Because as quickly as they can create that ecosystem with you, they can take it away. So do with that information what you must. How can I practice teasing and flirting effectively? Give examples. You walk up to women and you say, "I like your shoes, but I think I could like them better if you chose a different color." And then just say that over and over and over again. Not what you're practicing isn't the actual teases or the words you're saying. It's observing the reactions you're getting and knowing what to do from there. That's what, like when people say practice. How do you practice your game? How do you practice teasing? It's not the teasing you're practicing. Saying the tease is the easy part. You're worried about the wrong thing here. The teasing is the easy part. What you do need to practice is what you have to do once the teasing has happened. How you can use the teasing, the reaction you get from the teasing, to create compliance, to create deeper investment in yourself. Right? That's what you should be worried about. Wait, gang up on you as in they can turn on you? Oh, for sure, dude. You'd be surprised how many guys lose their girls to their other girls. It happens a lot more often than you think. You'll have a guy, he's in a trouble, he has 2 girlfriends, it's all good. And then those 2 bitches gang up on him, double shit test him at the same time, right? Have him fail miserably in front of both of them. And then they go and start their own lesbian relationship away from this guy. Happens all the time. All the time. So yeah, it's very possible. What I found is if you have an odd number in there, you have at least one informant that can come back and report back to you, or that can disrupt their little synergistic whatever the fuck they got going on. You feel what I'm saying? Hey, what's going on, Profilo? How we doing, man? How to direct the passion of crazy women? Yeah, you're not ready for that. If you're asking that question, you're not ready for that. Because that's not even the point of having crazy women. Right? The issue is not directing the passion of a crazy woman. They're crazy, quote unquote, right? Let's buy into this idea that they're crazy. Because if you ask me, they're all crazy, but whatever. They're crazy. Right? There's something called a crazy woman. They're already gonna give you obsession and passion and love and all those different things. in a positive view when they like you, when they're attracted to you, blah, blah. What makes them crazy is their inability to handle when things don't go their way when it comes to you. That's what makes them crazy. Think Huda from Love Island. Perfect example. Right? When she's all nice and lovey-dovey and kissing up on the guys she's dating, she's cool. It's when things don't go her way and she doesn't know how to control her fucking emotions. That's what makes her crazy, right? The idea isn't to redirect or direct that. That's not the point. That energy is there regardless, right? And it will come to you in a positive light whether you try to or not, as long as you keep being the more attractive guy in the situation. The idea is to teach them how to correctly handle their fucking emotions because they're not children anymore. Right? They can learn how to fucking handle their shit. That's the point. How can I practice? I already read that one. Passion. How do I overcome the need for perfection? I have a game plan for the type of content I'm bringing soon, but it's different. I have a restless need for perfection to the point I'm second guessing everything. That's not perfectionism. That's fear. You're lying to yourself. You're telling yourself, oh, I just need it to be perfect. No, you don't. You're scared. Just start putting out content, dude. It's probably going to flop anyway, but put it out. Put it out. You're overthinking shit. Overthinking has never helped anybody. Put that shit out. And get the feedback quickly. Like, the beautiful thing about putting out content is that you get instant feedback. Right? So the idea is to get very good at putting out content in massive quantity, especially if you're starting out, so that you can figure out very quickly what people actually respond to, what people actually like, what actually works, and then go from there. You feel me? Let's see. How do you overcome blah blah? Oh, no. How to be close to God? Very good question. What creates closeness to God? What makes you more like God is to begin to see like Him. I always say the first thing you need to copy from God is His eyes. His eyes. The way He sees things is the ultimate bird's eye view. And what makes you close to Him is copying Him, doing like Him. And the first thing you have to learn how to copy is His vision. See what He sees. See things from the position of His eye level. Right? That's what it means to get closer to God. So it comes back down to improving your perception, improving your awareness, increasing your vibrational level of consciousness. Right? It's a different pressure preparing to put out something you're emotionally invested in. Then don't be emotionally invested in it. Just put it out. Might flop anyway. Fuck it. Right? Because now you're putting a lot of unusual expectation on yourself. You're just now starting out. Why are you putting that kind of pressure on yourself? Don't do that to yourself. Thank you for your help. I'm rebranding. Very good. Very good. As you should. Is the mystery of the Bible a game? And do you have the quote in the book in every gaming situation? What are we talking about? You didn't write that correctly, so I don't understand it. Is the mystery the Bible of game, and do you have quote the book in the? I don't know what that means. When we transverse continents, we just started skipping across in terms of advancement. I feel as if all that psychic energy meeting each other was the reason. So I should. I wanted to do law. I don't know how this is going to affect my social skills, my game, because those motherfuckers got no time. Do law. No, it's not that they don't have time, they just don't have they don't have a good way of prioritizing the time for other things. All right, I don't care how busy you are. At some point, you have to rest. You have to eat. You have to take a shit. You can definitely find time to do things that matter to you. Okay? Let's see. What if you're broke, G? Same difference. Why are you broke? What is the reason you're broke? Because you're not adding value. On a physical level, The reason you have no money in your bank account is because you're not adding value to anybody. You're not solving a problem. You're not creating a relief from any pain. You're not teaching anything. You're not doing anything to make someone else slightly better. Either their day or a problem they have or something. So you can't really complain about, being broke if you don't have an ability or something in place to be able to solve the problem of other people. It's really what it comes down to. That's what it's always come down to, right? So that's how you get out of that. Let's see. What is quiet time and Bible study portion of the day? Those two things are different times, right? The different portions of the day. But quiet time is really just stillness, silence. Complete stillness and silence is where you get superior signal. What do you think about people who have a godly level of self-belief but their actions don't back it up? That's not possible. People with a godly level of self-belief have the actions to back it up, right? When you talk about, are you talking about actions or results? Because those are two different things. You can have amazing self-belief with not a lot of results, possible, but that won't stay too long like that anyway. So if self-belief is truly high, the results will catch up, at some point. The signs precede the results, right? That's how it works. With that said, though, even before the results come up or show up, the actions are always aligned. It's a natural byproduct. Whatever you think and feel will manifest in action. It happens all the time. Not having money creates a me loop. To get out of it is to serve others. Stop worrying about you. Thank you. The way you get anything is to stop worrying about getting the thing and start worrying about, giving. I always say it, like, in case you don't understand what I mean by that. You cannot receive until you give. It's not possible to jumpstart the cycle without doing the first part first. You cannot receive until you give. It's not possible. So if you're stuck in that, like Dimitri said, in that me loop, you got to get out of it and start looking at it from the other person's point of view, the other people's point of view, the people you want to serve, the people you want to help, and start asking yourself, how can I solve their problems? How can I make their lives better? When you have that, then you'll be able to know what to do next. And when you know what to do next, it's a matter of executing on it and then having a means or a method for you to be able to receive money back. That's it. Let's see. It's like your thoughts aren't your thoughts, but they're your thoughts from how you explain them. Pretty much, yeah. You own them once you have them, but they don't belong to you. What happened if I think about buying women? It means you're weak and pathetic. If the only way you can think to acquire a woman is to buy her, ugh. First of all, that's not even possible. You can't buy women. You can buy their time for a certain period of time. You can buy their vaginas even, but you can't buy a woman outright. The only way to own a woman outright is to actually make them see you as so consequential that they're willing to give up who they are and what they are for your sake. You can't do that with money. Money doesn't do that. That's a deep level of emotional relevance and investment. Okay? Let's see. Yeah, I think the same is because I came from Africa. Yeah, type shit. A lot of bad habits get passed down to us because of that. Thoughts on height surgery? Well, it's like the more important thing is how okay you feel within yourself. I just haven't had enough evidence to see that the people that go do these height surgeries are as okay within themselves after the surgery as they were before. If that makes sense, right? So that's really what my issue with it is. It's like you can get your height surgery, but if you do the height surgery and you still don't feel tall enough or okay within yourself enough or complete enough, we have a problem. You feel me? I hate when I already read that one. 100, 120 QVS. I have no idea what that means. What's a QVS? Um, let's see. Have you made a video on universal laws? Please pin this. No. I've made a video of the laws of the game though. My ex left me because I once questioned her attractiveness. Any chance I can get her back? Nah. Nah. Not that there's no chance you can't get her back. You can. It's just not worth it. If she feels so insecure that when you question her attractiveness, she runs away, believe her. You can get a better girl. Believe her. You can get a better girl. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Believe her. She's showing you through her actions that she's acting like someone that's like, holy shit, this guy just found out that he can actually get a better girl. Fuck, let me run away before he breaks up with me. Right, so believe her. I think changing your height is too extreme. That's my opinion though. To each their own. I've heard of crazier things. You know, so yeah. Oh yeah, I'm double streaming. I got YouTube, I got TikTok. Every night out, all my friends or my friends' friends get intimidated by my existence. I don't get why. Every night out, your friends or your friends' friends get intimidated by your existence. Then can you call them your friends then? Why are you calling those people your friends? What's going on there? Or are you just a combative person that's a piece of shit and doesn't know how to relate yourself correctly to other people that you go out with? Which one is it? How do you date and maintain relationships with multiple women? It's actually a lot easier than people think it is. It's actually easier to do than one woman. Because, like I always say, the lifeblood of your relationship is competition anxiety. Women are not as keen to leave you or replace you when they know that you can replace them. So when the evidence of you being able to replace them is right in front of their faces, they tend to act more right, if that makes sense. That'll do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. Alright? Let's see. Why am I hesitant to show love to others? Because you once did it when you were a kid and you were punished for it. That's why. You got to go back in time, forgive that younger self, and accept the love that you're being given right now, and give it back. Let's see. My Asian friend is boring when it comes to women. I see the convos with his girl, and I tell him his looks can only take him so far because he's Asian in third world African country, so the girls give him attention. Oh, he's different. All right, fair enough. I mean, shit, it'll take him so far. Yeah, that's true. But he needs to become more interesting. Planning on going over self-belief 2.0 again, as you fucking should. How do I develop the protector in me, and how do I display it to the women in my life? Like, what should be my mindset? Be a risk taker. Go do some hard shit no one else wants to do, and do it well. Take a risk and be successful at it. Go take a risk, right? He says he is being nonchalant. He's being nonchalant. And I try to tell him there's a difference between nonchalance and having nothing to say. Listen, you're trying to help your friend that doesn't seem to want the help. Let him suffer. Don't worry, he'll run back to you when something goes wrong. Okay? Stop trying to give people help that don't want it. It's fine, let him suffer. Let him. They'll be more prone to listen and receive your message when they feel the pain. Okay? Let pain be the first teacher. You can be the second. ChatGPT told me to chill out lately, saying the system I have already works. Stop being impulsive. That's so funny. ChatGPT didn't tell me that. I actually saw that in a dream. Right? Like not with regards to like chill out with the system, but like stop making these kind of adjustments because that you're nitpicking nonsense. Just stop it. Just stick to the mainframe plan, you know? Once all it took for her to disappear from your life. Once was all it took for her to disappear from your life. Come on out, be real with yourself. Literally. Loving the double stream type shit. Weight gang up on you as in they can turn on you? Yes. Let's see. I already read all these ones, didn't I? Yes. How long should the approach last along with getting the number before you bounce? It really depends. I do think Mako could have. No, that's a different question. But it depends. It depends. I would say a good sweet spot is like 5 to 10 minutes. And here's a very important part though. The number should be taken about halfway into the conversation, not at the end of it. Halfway into it. The biggest problem people have is they take the number and they run away. Right? And then they expect the woman to respect them during texting and stuff like that. No. You should talk to the girl, spike up emotions, take the number, and then keep talking to her afterwards. Then part ways and be like, yeah, I like talking to you. Let's continue this over text. That's what you should do. I do think Marco could have still got him some because it's unrealistic for their relationship to succeed while maintaining a relationship with Marco nearby. Who the fuck is Mako? Mako? From Avatar? We were not talking about Avatar just now. Why the fuck are we talking about him all of a sudden? How do you do compliance testing? Ask her to do anything for you. Anytime she does something for you that she really doesn't have to, she's passing a compliance test. Picking up something from the ground for you, buying something from you, or for you, sorry, taking, why am I having trouble putting the words together for this? Giving information to you that she doesn't need to give you, shit like that. That's compliance. Jay's 4 months with my girl, had an affair with another, lives far away. We call him text. Okay. Have you ever brought women where? How do you bag a girl that thinks she's better than you? You can't. It's not possible. The whole point of game is to avoid that very problem. It's to present yourself as better than her. Right? That's what we call adding value, demonstrating value. The moment she thinks she's better than you, you can't get her. Only way to get her is to make her think that you're better than her. Now, can you reverse it once she thinks she's better than you? Absolutely, but usually it's not worth doing that. It's better to just start over with a new girl. You know, it's way too much work to get the same result than just getting a new girl. You feel me? I think changing, already read that one. What's your outlook on Love Island? I've seen a lot of your videos on it. Yeah, I think it's a fun show, man. I think it's a great social experiment, right? Love Island is an interesting social experiment because it's like, it shows you how people behave in their base form. And you have all these different levels of people and different levels of relationship. You have the people that are still in survival. Everything for them is fight or flight. Think of Huda, very good example of that, which, by the way, I think I'll have to make a video about that later. Everything with her is like fight or flight. Oh, I'm either getting attacked and I have to defend myself, or I have to attack and make someone defend themselves. It's very, combo for combo with her. Then you have a naivete-driven person, like a Namaya, right? She's very childlike, very immature with their emotions, doesn't know what to do most of the time, very all over the place. Then you have someone like a little more mature, like an Iris. Very mature, very still, very decisive. Then you have someone that tries to pretend like they're mature, like an Olandria, right? Chill and calm for the most part, but clearly there's a beast in there she's trying to keep from the world. Though we've seen a couple times now. Then there's a Shelly. Honestly, that one's just a witch. Clearly, you can smell the witchcraft on that bitch. And then there's the guys. There's different kinds of guys too. There's a playful, goofy guy that doesn't want to have deep emotional feelings or conversations. There's a calm gentleman like a Pepe or a Chris that know how to like really communicate themselves and articulate their feelings and stuff, and know how to make women have a good time and have consequential relationships. Then there's like Nick, the Mr. Fantasy, Mr. Pretty Boy, just keep a bitch in a golden castle, make her feel good, nothing too serious with him. It's different kind of people coming together and clashing these different kind of personalities and creating these different situations. It's fun. It's fun. Let's see. What does it really represent about the modern dating culture? Not as much as you think, honestly. I've seen people say that, like, oh, it's a perfect example of the modern dating culture. Is it though? Or is it just how dating has always been? But now we get to see a closer look of it. Those same things happening in the Villa right now in Love Island happen in the Bible too. This shit ain't new, bro. It's not modern. It's how men and women have always interacted with each other. Does that make sense? So it's not as consequential to the modern dating world as you think it is. It really isn't. Are we the only intelligent creatures on this planet who can actually think and think about thinking? Nah, definitely not. No. And what if the compliance test fails? Then you indicate disinterest. Whenever you're giving a compliance test and they don't comply, you indicate disinterest. Right? You say or do something that lets them know that you're not interested in them or you're not as interested in them. Right? I thought you were cool. I don't know. I don't think you're that cool anymore. Right? As an example. I was saying a friendship with Marco won't really last because he's imprinted on both. Again, why are we talking about Mako from Avatar for no reason? Why? Have you ever tricked on a woman? Of course. When I was younger and didn't know what I was doing, absolutely. I feel like that's a kind of event for everyone, right? Everyone at some point tries to figure out what works best. And you learn, if you're learning correctly, you learn like, oh, okay, this money thing isn't the way to go. You feel what I'm saying? Mako has been through a lot with Korra and Asami. I'm not reading anything of Avatar related. We're not talking about Avatar right now. Thoughts on Ramel on Love Island? Think he's a dating coach on here. I don't know who that is. There's no Ramel on Love Island. Huh? I don't know who that is. I'm watching the American Love Island. Maybe that's the UK one, because I know the UK one has been filmed right now as well. But no, I don't watch the UK one. I don't know any Ramel. Let's see. How do you turn hate into attraction? It's very simple. Become more playful. Hate is just love with a different format. It's just love going in a different direction. All you have to do is start being playful. More playful is more love, right? Obviously, you have to make sure that they put some work in to earn that more positive energy from you. But once you do that, it's just a matter of being playful. Yeah, family. All right, I'm about to go soon, guys. I gotta bounce. I got a call coming up soon. Let's see. Let's go back to YouTube. I don't know how much I'm allowed to reveal. No. Chasing. How well would game with older women translate to gaming women your age? I already answered that question, didn't I? Yeah. What kind of knowledge I have to acquire to rule my corrupted country? You didn't answer the TikTok. Somalia, did I not answer that question? We were talking about building wealth. Well, okay. The knowledge you have to acquire will be everything you need to know about the people of your country, the history, sure, but mostly the way the people respond to different things. For you to be able to help a people, you have to understand what their problems are. And by the way, that's how you want to look at it. You're probably asking this question right now from a place of either greed, you want power over other people, or some misplaced sense of justice. Like, I see a lot of things wrong with the country, and I want to change it. I want to have the power to change it. Let me tell you what you actually discover the more you go through different things. Understanding your country, understanding how things get to where they are. This is what you actually begin to learn. You begin to learn that there is no country on this planet that is where it's at by accident. If it's happening the way it's happening for a reason. Okay? So don't even trip about that. Don't even trip about that. That is not something that you have to correct because it's so bad. It's something that you have to understand enough so you can make the correct adjustments to. That's the mindset I want you to have. That's one. Two, once you're looking at it like that, like it's something you have to adjust, then you realize that the issue isn't making your government less corrupt. That is a symptom of the real problem. The real problem is the problem of the people in the country, the problems of the people you have to solve in the country. That's the fucking issue. Right? That's the fucking issue. Once you solve for that, then you're fine. But in the way of solving for that, you have to acquire all the knowledge about the people, the problems they have, and how to solve them. Okay? About making sense when I say that. It's not about getting rid of the corrupt. The corrupt will naturally float away when you remove the things in place that are keeping the people's problems amplified. The corrupt only exist to take advantage of those same problems, by the way. I hope you realize that. The corrupt are there to, like, they're parasites that exist to extract value from the already existing problems. But they're not the problem. They're a symptom of it. So all the knowledge you'll have to acquire will come down to understanding your people, your kinsmen, your fellow countrymen, well, their history, understanding what they respond to, what they don't respond to, and understanding how to solve the problem. Like, really understand what is the goal you want to achieve for the average Somalian. What do you want their average Somalian's life to look like? And then figure out all the work you have to do to get that to happen. That's what you have to do. Okay? Okay. Let's see. Didn't I already? Okay. I'm a Muslim. How can I get my 4 wives? I don't know. Ask Muhammad or something. I never knew we were different creatures. That's crazy. Type shit. How to figure out yourself from the previous answer to my question of getting married at 20. Figure out yourself, like understanding who you are, your identity. Simple. You actually have to go and experience shit in your life. Experience the world. Figure out what your strengths and weaknesses are. And then decide within yourself, now that you understand who you are right now, decide who you want to be. Because the person who wants to get married, that version of you that is ideal to align yourself with someone else, is the person that you have to work towards. Is a person that you are not right now. There is a gap between who that person is and who you are right now. Go and figure out the amount of work it'll take to become that person. Right? But you have to have a very clear goal, clear vision there. Is chasing checkpoints in life bad? Those 2 questions, I already answered the first one. Yes, chasing checkpoints is terrible. Checkpoints are good as far as goal setting. So you know what points in the goal you've reached and how to reach them and stuff like that. But checkpoints in life are expectations placed on you by others. Why would you want to live your life in accordance to the expectations of other people? It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea, right? You don't want to do that. You don't want to be the person that lives your life in accordance to the expectations of other people. That's stupid, right? Really think about it. All the checkpoints you have in your head of all the different things you should be doing at certain ages come from the ideas other people have given to you. You didn't come up with those things on your own. You didn't. You didn't. So why would you continue to live a life of other people? That's stupid. Don't do that to yourself. You feel me? All right. That's it for me today. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. If you haven't yet, go and join my private community, right? Go and join, whatchamacallit. Goddamn, what the fuck is going on here? Go and join the Supervillain Academy. Make sure that you actually join as soon as possible because I'm not going to be running the 7-day free trial promotion for much longer, okay? That's gonna end on the, what day is it? 21st or something like that. So you have about a week or so before that ends. Go join now, and I'll see you inside. It's me, Jason's favorite scientist. Do with all this information what you must.